Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Whims of the Creator. I am J3 Puff, and I am once again joined by co-host Gadget,
I fight for my friends.
Volke,
Hi.
and Blank.
I am full of chicken tenders.
Good. You're about to be full of knowledge about the green Fire Emblem cards. Let's start with this one. This is... okay. He's not Laguz, but he is a friend to all Laguz. This is Zyark. Not to be confused with Zorark, who inevitably transformed into this person, as you can see from the cat in the background. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, if you have another Tellius character, this card gets 2,000 power till end of turn. Yes, that is correct, okay. And then accelerate, pay one, clock yourself from top deck, pitch a card. On attack, pay cost to search your deck for two Tellius characters, add them to your hand. Both those abilities are real. That second one, I think, is a 1k effect. So I think you're good.
I mean, this is a copy of a Dengeki Bunko card, so yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, it's the
Mm.
Kirito Asuna, right?
hmm
Okay. Yeah, I saw someone playing that card today on the Tresses vid.
Jiminy Christmas. Is this like a good auxiliary level 1 for green?
Relatively, I guess.
I mean, it does get you two cards.
Dude, this is a goddamn double rare. What the fuck?
Actually, not. It's an SR.
Oh
Whatever.
wait. What?
The Kirito and Asuna are an R.
Right.
Yeah.
This is like a special promo rarity. Sorry, it's the 4 zeros in the set number.
This should probably be like a rare, or if it's a promo, it's like a playable promo.
Yeah. Do be promo.
I don't know. I've been playing into Dengeki pretty recently. This card has not come up against me yet. But it does read very good.
I actually don't like this as much as... So there's
oh wait, there's a typo. Sorry.
there's a few versions of this like style of thing. There's the Ranga and Slime, there's the Himeno and Chainsaw Man. And yeah, those cards need to reverse, but you don't have to clock yourself at level 1. You just rest a character and you get to do stuff like this.
Hmm.
It's on reverse, pay one, ditch one, rest one of your other characters, and then you salvage two, or it's just pay one, rest one, salvage, or search. So I don't know. I don't like... I like this more because it's not a double rare, is what I will say. If this one took up a double rare slot, I would be losing my mind. But this is a promo, apparently.
Yeah, it is perfectly fine as a promo slot. I mean, for a set that doesn't have any accelerate support, it is just kind of a cost that is here. If your set has like actual accelerate support, there's like it just becomes a better auxiliary than one of
You know
those
what?
ones that requires a reverse because it doesn't require a reverse.
This set doesn't have accelerate support, but it does have cards that can heal you during your main phase at level 1. So this actually ends up being a little bit probably better than we expected because it's of those cards that are also in this color. So that's like another reason to play this. You could play those like together.
Yeah, but even then, it's on attack. So like it's not like you can then heal off your thing in main phase because you're... Or you could just make this clean accelerate, and I'd like it a lot better too. It's not like Dengeki Bunko was, lighting the world on fire. Even in that set, I have not seen basically anybody play that Kirasana.
I saw, I think, both decks there in today's Tenkeki Bunko versus using it. Granted, it was two decks playing the regular Magic High School level 1 combo, like the TD combo, and the different top ends. But yeah, both of them were running it. Because blue.
So before we got distracted, I was going to say what you can do, Blank, is if on your first level 1 turn, you go to 1-0, you play these, you go to like 1-1 or 1-2 to get all the pluses, and then once you inevitably cancel because you pulled 4 clean cards out of your deck, right? Then on your next turn, you can heal back down and then play your real level 1 combo after that. That's the play pattern here.
You're living in a fantasy world, my guy.
I am.
Not
I mean, I would
really.
normally rate this card like a. I would normally rate this like a C or a C plus, but I think because of the synergy, I'm gonna rate it a B minus.
I actually like the on reverse ones more because they swing bigger than this. At least most of them. Most of them swing at minimum 6-5, 7-5 with climax. I'm like, it's not a bad card, I don't think. Also, I'd be interested to see those Dengeki lists because like my friend plays the irregular stuff, but he plays like the irregular high school top end also. So I just don't think he has slots for it. But it's not like, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it's yellow because the Asuna in that set, the Asuna finisher in that set's yellow.
No, it's also a blue card.
Oh, that's even stranger.
The
I think.
Kirito also. It's a Kirito Asuna, so it's got Kirito on it. It could be
Most of
blue.
the accelerate support in Dengeki is yellow as well, so that's weird. Unless you're gonna go blue into yellow.
I think that.
Well, I mean, in Dengeki you should be playing yellow because you're stock swap in yellow.
Yep.
Also because Taiga's a cutie.
That
But
Tigus.
I know Dengeki is a new set in English. I've not seen like a single list play that Asuna in JP.
Yeah, they've. I think that may
They,
also
they
be a
played a
meta
bunch
tier
of weird
thing.
shit in JP too, so they were trying to put that strike the blood combo in every fucking deck possible.
Yeah, that's a JP thing. It's them. We us. We play different.
Yeah, but
Uh,
also I still don't like it.
so do we need to say anything about Zorwork here before we move on?
I guess
No.
lore-wise, in the first game, he is the only person from this respective country that is not racist.
Oh, right. He's one of the.
I mean, he's a good guy, but he's technically from the first country in the game that's a villain.
Okay. Yeah.
He's never on their side, though. He just kind of pops up.
Hi, I'm here. Let me be a friend, please. Cool.
That's Lithian or Lath in the background.
My comments are that he has a dope ass sword.
Oh, yeah.
It's Kirby. All right. Speaking of Lagoozes,
All right, I get this war crime of a card. Okay, this is Prince of Dragons, Kurth Naga. He's a very important character in the second game. Volk, did you actually make this a double R now, or is this just kind of a promo, or what? How do you want to? How are we talking about this?
I mean, it would probably be a double R. But,
Yeah, okay.
you know.
So it has a 1K assist to all characters in front of it. If he has a marker, he gets +1 level, and he can't be chosen by your opponent's effects. And then he gets you can't receive 1 or less damage by auto effects of your opponent's characters. And then when you're just whenever they want, your opponent can pay 2 stock to send all of his markers to waiting room. And he's a Lagoose trait. So he has no way to get markers himself, but if you play the Lagoose Stone or the Kaiza or whatever, if you have any other way of getting him a marker, basically, he gets hexproof, and you can't auto burn for 1 or less. This card used to be way more broken than it was, even as it is now. Yeah, if you see my status on Discord, my status on Discord is why would you make a card that says my opponent can't when you can make a card that says I can? And this card was kind of the reason why. Obviously, this card exists in Shauna, and everybody hates that card. And this card's like arguably better than that because he can't be targeted himself if you have the marker.
isn't the UG just?
Yuji is a 1,000 power assist to level 2s or higher in front of it, and you cannot be dealt auto damage at all as long as you have 2 or more other flame characters on the board.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, this lets you take 2+, which means that it's actually closer to the Arifureta anti-burn.
I am a very well known anti-burn hater. I think this card is balanced. Like, I despise anti-burn. It's like just the most unfun thing ever. But you just have to sculpt for 2 extra stock on your kill turn, and you like are fine.
It's not like it turns off all burns. It only turns off one or less.
Yeah, so some decks like this doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is specific. Your opponent is given it out by this card, which is actually the thing that makes me like doubtful on the budget. I remember I actually was like part of the engineering team on the original one for the budgeting, and now it's like that drawback. I think definitely fucks with it somehow, but I don't quite know how.
I think the real problem is that it's so balanced that I'm like,
Yeah.
would you even play it? You know what I mean? It's like
It also-
because it's got the anti-marker thing, and it only affects one or less.
Yeah.
It also doesn't have a soul trigger, which means it's like 1% less searchable. Like you can't choice trigger for it.
This,
Or whatever. It's just gonna sit on the board the entire time anyway.
Yeah, this would be fine with a soul trigger.
Yeah.
And then that probably puts it
After
back
putting the
in your-
drawback on it, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Um,
you could even probably make it you can't receive any auto damage to actually make this playable, but I think the tricky thing is that because this card can't be chosen, the only out to it is either board wiping or your opponent just pays the 2-stock. I talked a lot in Umineko about why I don't think hexproof is a good thing. If you give a card an effect that says you can't target this card, and then give it another effect that says you can't reverse this card or whatever, something like that, right? Basically, your opponent can't touch the card. And then if that card also then has a floodgate effect, like no auto burn or like hex, like a neg soul type thing, the card just becomes cancer because you can't touch it and you can't like deal damage around it in its lane. And the original version of this card was kind of like that. So that's why this is like a bit more niche as a result. But I think it's still a good card. I'll just say, if you want to know my thoughts on Hexproof, go back and watch the Umineko Yellow video, and I won't dwell on it too much. I'll just say this card is like probably a C plus, and obviously if you need to play it. It'll depend on your local meta or depending on like what the best decks in the format are.
Yeah, like there was a point in time like anti-burn wasn't toxic. If it had been in the format during like Gura, it would have been like, thank God we don't have to worry as much about the shark.
I mean, yeah. I know some people were trying to play the anti-burn in Ari Ferretta just for like to not die from 2-0 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I think it like.
But it's like
Carmen,
most bounce cards, which is like the answer to Yuji and stuff, also cost 2 stock. So if you know you're playing against the anti-burn thing, like even if this was all auto effects, I'd like it more, but I still think it's completely fine because instead of having to play another card down, which usually costs 2 stock to bounce, or 1 and sacking the 2/1 it's on or whatever else, you just pay 2.
Yep. I think that.
I guess floor on this guy. The Dragon Tribe Lagoos in this game are like, I wouldn't say pacifist, but they've made it a point to live in solitary and not interfere with the outside world. And that's because their leader has been alive since they made that promise that I mentioned in the last thing, the goddess. And he's just like, don't start a war because it'll destroy the world.
Look, guys, I told you.
And this is like, his son. So he takes after that. Which is why he says no burn one, but he's also kind of weak because he doesn't have any combat experience.
Do you want to go into like the lore reason for his whole lineage, or are we gonna cover that later?
We'll probably cover it when we get to his dad.
All right.
Or his sister.
Yeah, the whole Goldoan royal family is just fucked, if we're being honest.
It's a mess.
I mean, that is no children.
It's like Umineko levels of messed up. We'll get to that.
Cool. All right. Next card.
Oh yeah, Blanket's a cool card.
Oh,
this is a really cool card.
It's me. I forgot. I'm supposed to read or something. Voice of the Goddess, Micaiah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. I was about to say somebody pronounce that for me. I don't know what it is. if you have 2 or more other global trait, it gets 15 in hand-on core. At the beginning of your attack phase, you may look at the top card of your deck, choose up to one of those cards, put it on top of your deck, then send the rest to waiting room. And it's Anya combo. You look at 3, you mocha 3 from your opponent, and then you heal 1.
Mhm.
I read that middle line of text and thought it was the Lich King card effect, and I was like, that shit's kind of dope. But also, I don't think that works out with how the climax combo and Anya's work costed. But
You mean the Lich from Adventure Time?
Yeah.
yes, the on attack, if it's traded character or event, just add it to hand on attack.
Is there another Lich we
Yeah.
don't know about?
This is not quite that, but this is like pretty good, I think. Does this summon early?
Yes, it has an event, just like Anya.
Okay.
What is the level 3 effect on this card?
They have the climax combo.
Yeah. It would have to be.
So none of these other effects are level 3 effects.
Nope. The power condition is like, we've seen it on several cards. Like Rushia is one, just has it as part of the thing.
That's right, yeah.
Then the
I always forget about Rich, yeah.
then the attack phase thing is, I've never seen it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Chief. I've never seen that effect. But
I mean, I've
it's
seen that effect on other cards, but I've never seen it on like a level 3.
okay. Gotcha. So it has been around, and it looks like it's priced at like 500 here, which seems like fine. So I'll go get that because I generally don't know.
Yeah, technically, all 3 of these effects could be 1k each.
The
No.
combo is like 1500
I was about to say the combo's at least 15.
because the Anya.
In that case, then, yeah, it's probably a 500 power.
We have a friend who likes playing Rushia, and I forgot that the way it gets hand on core is the global trait thing. I really need to play like Bochi or Liko Rico or hell Fujimi just got their second like full board trait deletion thing. So he will never hand on core that stupid bitch again.
Yeah, but you have JoJo, so you don't even need to buy new cards. You just play a White Snake.
No, because it doesn't globally delete it. It only deletes off one character.
Yeah.
Those are the sets that have the full board.
Just play 2 White Snakes then. Problem solved.
That still doesn't work. They have back row characters.
Yep.
Okay, 3. I don't know.
Okay, and then
Look,
run it
no.
over with what? My 500 power shitter?
This is
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a Dal deck around somewhere, right? You could just like throw in a couple of copies of the Fujimi event.
Yeah, they also the new Fujimi one got a character version,
Yeah.
so it's more searchable in that like style of thing.
True.
The character ones have cost to them, but like the event kind of does too, because it doesn't go to the field, so it's not an attacker.
Alright, can we talk about this card for a second?
The one we're on.
I thought you were going to the next slide already.
Okay. So,
Are we doing lore?
No, we're doing the card.
Well, no, I'm.
Oh, okay.
Nope. It's blank. Just spent 5 minutes talking about fucking trait deletion. All right, I want to talk about this card.
Trait deletion's cool, man.
It
It
is.
was in my first ever
very
custom
cool.
set, and it was very funny.
This card is also really cool. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. If you're trying to early play it, it's doing the Anya thing as well as other things, which are probably like this card definitely reads like a custom set card. It reads like a card with a bunch of effects on it, but it's actually not that bad. I've played against this card a lot. It is definitely a card. Like it is a real card. It is a real thing. It is a real strategy you can play to. But like I keep bringing it up because it's a card you can early play. You might just do like a 2-2 or 3-1 split of your top end. You could play another finisher with this and just be perfectly fine. Because the event, you just need to sack another Micaiah. You don't need to sack a specifically named character, right? No, you have to choose specifically the Maiden of Sacrifice Micaiah.
Yeah, it's literally that.
So it's literally Anya.
Oh. Which is the Maiden of Sacrifice? Is that the 1/1?
It's the 1/0.
It's the
Interesting.
1/0. Oh, this thing. Yeah, okay. Well, at least it's a 1/0. I thought it was a 1/1. But no, yeah, this card's like fine. Yeah, it's just like a 1/0 kind of version of that Anya. So yeah, it's a card you're gonna play 3 or 4 of if you're playing green anyway. But we'll talk about it in a couple slides. I don't know if this is the best deck in Fire Emblem. I'm gonna keep talking about it. I think the Ike finisher is the best thing you can do in this set. This card's probably like the second or third best thing you can do in the set. And again, you can early play it. So I think it's a good strategy you could play too. There's gonna be more things in here that can make this a lot more annoying. Thank goodness this card doesn't do anything defensively. It's purely offensively slanted. Because this set does have tap counter in it. So like if this did anything more defensively, it would probably be cracked. But as it is, it's just kind of a good card. I think it's like probably here.
How do I feel about Anya with Hand on Core?
Yeah, I was gonna say it really is just Anya with like more upside. Like Anya's already pretty good. Maybe this is actually like an A.
No, I think Anya's better than this card. Because Anya has the change where she refunds her hand back
That's true.
and like
Yeah.
fixes your deck state after you've already attacked for the turn. And then the Hand on Core taxes your hand too. Anya's still good.
There is
I do think this benefits from not having like all the bloated packages you play in the main like Spy Family deck. So you might have room for some other like plussing cards.
Right.
Maybe that 1/0 we looked at the beginning of green isn't like the worst thing ever because you're probably not tri-fielding this. Tri-fielding Anya's like a fucking pipe dream. So maybe you play that to like keep your hand up, and then you heal with this when you do the climax combo. That's actually pretty sick. I like that.
Synergy.
I'm gonna with that first card in there. I'll give it the plus. Yeah, I'm not 100% sold on it without the hand refund, but like you have basically automatic protection on this card where Anya's got to like try to be bigger than its opponent to stay on board.
You can also this card also like it has character encore and it has pay 1 ditch character in a deck that is trying to play bar. So like when you trigger the extra bars, like it's kind of bad because you can't ditch them for cost here. But this set's level 1. It's not a level 1 bag combo. There's a level 1 combo in red that lets you ditch card to look at 3, add 2. That might be the level 1 combo you play with this. I don't know if there's other ways to turn your bars into characters.
There's a couple drop searches.
Yeah, but there's nothing that would trade them in immediately, which is the one like risk here. Like you might like to play bar to like give yourself the extra hand, but there's no way this card can utilize the extra hand that you get off the bar. So maybe what you do is like, but then you don't have the Anya thing to cycle for. I don't know. Maybe you
Why
play
is
like
this ditch character.
For
The cost on
Because
Anya's.
that's how Anya's worded.
No, Anya's pay 1 ditch 1.
Anything?
That's what it says on Little Akiba anyway. Oh,
Fetching
bro, you
keychain.
can't trust Bushiroad translators. We got to go to Heart of the
Oh
Cards.
wow, it is pay 1 ditch 1. What the flip?
yeah,
Dude, you play it in pants. Like I was like, dude, I ditch climax with that card all the time. The fuck.
Okay, so fix that, and everything that we just said about that is not.
All right,
Yeah,
wonderful.
actually that's definitely a plus then for
Problem
sure.
solved.
Guess we're gonna go make that edit now.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Heh, spy reference.
Dude, that's getting me Waku Waku or some bullshit.
I don't know. I've never seen Family Spies.
Never seen Family. Dude, Spy Family's really good. I love that show.
Oh yeah.
I went and saw the movie in theaters because I love Spy Family that much.
All right, there we go. We fixed it.
You're the goat. Now this card's a lot better because you can ditch a bar if you have too many.
Right.
I do like that the first or the middle line of text like can help you trigger a bar to try to loop this because I think like the advantage of playing these Anya is like doing it early, but it's also probably your regular finisher. I don't know how much I buy into putting something this potentially resource intensive as like a mid game thing, like Gadget was saying, but
So I guess since you bring up the whole checking top, we'll do the lore. She is technically the main character of the second game of the two. I mean, obviously, Ike still plays the major hero role, but she's like the first main character you play with in that game. She has future sight abilities, which is that second ability, and she is a healer otherwise, as you can see in the trait. And she uses light magic. She's aight. You're kind of stuck with her, so you kind of have to make the best use of her as you can. And then that ghost in the background is the other goddess in this game, the Chaos one.
He actually possesses Micaiah in a later chapter, which is why she's like on the climax as well.
That's crazy. That's spoil. No, I'm just kidding. It's
This
kind of
entire set's gonna be
spoiler.
spoilers.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
fair enough.
spoiling like a 15-year-old fucking Wii game. It's not a critical.
Weak.
Also,
Dude,
it's really
imagine
funny
if
that
people in
Light's
high
like
school
more on the foreground.
imagine people in
than-
high school complained about Final Fantasy VI spoilers. All right, that game was like 15 years old when we were in high school. Come on now.
I've never played that either.
Exactly.
There's so many things I haven't played because I grew up in the middle of nowhere. If I wasn't Pokemon, I probably haven't played it.
Yeah, that tracks.
Mhm.
All right, are we good?
But yeah, Ike is more in the forefront because he actually does the fighting.
That's fair, I suppose.
We will certainly see him later. All right, next up.
This is my card, isn't it?
Yep.
All right. Yep. Another war crime alert.
This is Mad King Ashnard. He is the villain of the first game, like the final boss. He's a level 3 pay 2. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can choose one of your Tellius characters and it gets 1,000 power. Also, auto pay 3, put a card from hand in your waiting room and rest one of your other characters in center stage. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may pay the cost. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent and then stand this card and switch its stage position with one of your rest characters.
This card reads like the Levi's finisher from AOT set 1. That card was pay 3 on reverse, sack one of your characters, stand this card, and then move it. Arguably, this is like slightly lower cost since you're resting one of your characters instead of killing it. And then you also get to burn one on top of that for effectively the same cost. You're going to have to justify the power budgeting for that. But if you can do that, this card's like pretty freaking good.
You go like it's like 3 attacks instead, because like with Levi you could at least get up to 4.
Yes. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So like
You're only ever going to get 3 attacks with this. Okay.
Yeah, unless you have some way to like switch mid combat stuff, but you shouldn't. So yeah, the fact that it's that, and also the fact that the other effect is literally like a 500 thing. It's like a 1K level 3 effect. So the fact that it is an upgrade on the Levi's thing, which wait, that was also
Levi's
a
is
level
also a
3
climax
effect.
combo, though.
No, it's not. That's the thing. Nobody understands this. Levi's off is actually an off finisher. His climax combo is when you play the bar, you get to choose a character in your clock and play it on stage.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the second line of text is actually climaxless off finisher.
And it's his level
Right,
3 effect,
oh.
which is why I have it in the list.
Okay, what set is this in? Which
First AOT?
AOT set 1.
the fuck do I find that at?
Blank, I've played this card against you in waifu tournaments. How do you not know what he does?
Well, I know what he does. I'm looking for fucking budget shit, because like
500
while you're
and
looking-
1K effect. You know, if this said trait, because this also has the extra deal 1.
in Azure Lane, right? Like one of their main way to end a game is this restander that doesn't have a level 3 effect on it because its restandability is like extra cheap for doing the restand thing.
Yeah.
It only restands the turn you play it or something.
Yeah, it only restands the turn you play it, and its cost is arguably more expensive than this. And it doesn't get an additional burn one. Also, because it says rest one of your other characters in center stage, you can like save a character that got reversed. Because it doesn't say rest one of your other standing characters in center stage.
That would be an easy correction.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you could get 5
Should
attacks
be.
with this, technically.
Yeah, it should be standing characters.
Yeah, so this one is the Kronstadt guy can't. It's the Russian.
Kronstadt.
Yeah, that
Ron,
one.
stop.
It's on the turn this card is played from hand. only, so you can't, even if it lives, it doesn't matter. It's pay 2, discard 1, sack a character, and you have to have a 4 or more board condition.
But it's not on reverse, right? Like you can do it however you need to.
Yeah,
That's the trade-off.
but
Yeah.
but also like restand is inherently like with memory kick being around, it's like you kind of don't want to get reversed to
No,
start
but
with.
like the point is most restanders need to reverse their opponent. Kronstadt doesn't, which is why it justifies having the full field condition and the same cost as a climax combo restander, basically.
Basically.
Yeah, it's just like this is weird. I don't know how I
It's like
feel about
to
this.
put it in perspective, right? The Buzz Lightyear is like a pay 5 ditch 2 to restand without any conditions, right?
That's,
With the
that's
fucking
fair.
clock kick back row bullshit. That card's so funny. I wish it wasn't on a Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, what if it was on a waifu instead? Yeah, so
Yeah,
this
what
is
if it was on a beauty?
probably off as far as cost goes. Like the 3 stock, you probably want it just because you're getting restand, so you want it to be stock gated, but it probably needs to be closer to like pitch 2 because of the
Yeah, like
extra
this is
burn
doing an
1.
additional damage.
Yeah.
But again, this is only ever going to get you 3 attacks. The Levi's getting you the 4th. The Kronstadt's getting you a 4th. The point of this card is you field it with 2 shitters, and you get 3 lanes of 3 soul and burn 1 on top of that.
Yeah.
So technically speaking, there is a card that allows this to have a 4th attack, but it's extra stock on top of that. So
Yeah, you also need to pay 6 stock for this whole thing, which is pretty good. But you do fund 3 of that stock from attacks.
And
It's not like the most efficient thing. And also, if your opponent memory kicks this, you just don't get to resolve the rest of it. But if the first one goes, the rest of them are going to go.
And like the finisher that you've been gassing up for a while doesn't have a cost on it, so you have stock to burn if you're playing into that, hypothetically.
That's true, too, yeah. You're talking about the Ashura, right?
No, I'm talking about the IQ set, like in this review already. You don't do them
The
together,
Micaiah?
but the Ike. When you were talking about the
Oh.
Micaiah, you mentioned the Ike. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But Ike is not on Climax play, is he? No, he's not.
But that's
So,
not
like,
really
you
the
would...
point. Right? The idea being you're not having to gas up simultaneously. Like you don't need any resources for that. It's just a thing in your deck. So if you're playing into that, you just can have these extra resources to pay for this.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. That's what I
And-
was gonna say. Actually, is that if you're not playing a quote unquote real finisher, if you're playing like some standby bullshit, or if you're just like playing 2 level 1 combos, you can just have this be your top end and not even really worry about it. Or if you're playing another finisher and you don't have your climax for whatever reason, this card is just a 1 card push. Basically, you don't need anything to commit to this. You just play them down. And then you get to kill all 3 of your opponent's lanes and ping them 1 in all 3 lanes.
You also don't have to do this all 3 lanes, right? You could just do this in 1 lane and still have a lane of like a normal combo or finisher thing, dude. In that, like,
I actually like this in the Micaiah
yeah.
Micaiah, because like you go into mid game and it's like, oh, one of them lived. I'll hand encore one of them or something like that, and then you just like play the shitter and then play this guy, and then you got 2 lanes of that plus the mocha and the heal. That's like pretty dope.
There is
in
There's
that
also-
regard, he would only ping 1 once,
Which is, yeah, it's fine.
but that's
Yeah,
fine.
whatever.
Yeah, you can. So this costs like 4 stock minimum, right? You got to pay 2 to play this. He attacks, he gets the 3rd stock, and then you pay out the 2 and the 1, and you ditch 1, and you can do one burn 1 and then 1 restand, right? But this set also has a Marine kind of thing in it, so like you could like play to that. And if you can't, and if you just, I mean, you could just decide: do you want to play this, or do you want to go for the real efficient finisher? If you want to do it that way, just as an idea, I don't know. This card's got a lot of potential. It's like a straight A, but like it could go a lot higher. Obviously, I'm biased because I like the Levi finisher from AOT set 1, and this card is just that card with upside.
I think I'm on. Like it's expensive, and I don't know how good it is compared to like just attacking 3 times with a regular finisher. You know what I mean? Because like you said, if you're just doing this and you're only getting 3 lanes, it's essentially like just 3 attacks and like 2 burn ones.
Yeah, this is
Unless we keep it the way it's worded, and then it's 5 attacks and 2 burn ones. But if we're actually changing how this is worded to be like you're resting one of your standing characters, then I actually don't know how much I like it, but it's like fine.
I think it is like you have this and you only find one copy of your combo, or you're playing a combo you only do one of, which I don't know if this set has a. Actually, maybe it does, but maybe probably not in the same deck as this guy. Oh, look, the icons all line up now. Isn't that fun?
Well,
That's
the other thing I was thinking is like because you're doing this Micaiah at level 2, right? You're spawning that at level 2. You might not have the resources to like encore all of them
Oh yeah.
or whatever.
Right.
Or if you spawn out multiple and your opponent like trait deletes you or whatever, one of them still might live just because like 8-5 is not. You still have to invest usually to kill an 8-5
At
or
level 2.
you know like
Hmm.
even yeah, you're playing an early play, you're still putting stock down, you know what I mean? You're still using resources.
Right.
So it's like, oh, hey, this one lived, and then I'll just play this and some other random card because my hand's kind of been taxed by my combo eating hand. Because it doesn't like we talked about, the Micaiah doesn't refund hand like the Anya does with the change stuff. So maybe you go for this because it's one of the 2 or 3 cards in your hand, and you play you push one of your back row forward, and you're just like, well, I'll attack with this guy twice because I saved a bunch of stock by hand encoring or whatever. Card's cool, but I don't know.
So I guess some minor lore, since I already said he's the final villain. That thing he's got in his hand that's kind of shining is the quote-unquote fire emblem of this game, the medallion.
Of course it is.
And it's supposed to be that anybody who just straight up touches this medallion that isn't of a certain like balance in themselves will just go batshit insane. The final fight, if you're playing in hard mode, you beat him, and then he just goes, I don't want to stop fighting yet. So he pulls out the medallion and then just fucking goes back to full HP with busted ass stats and just goes nuts.
I don't want to stop fighting.
I didn't hear no bell. Pulls out a bell.
vibe check this guy, please.
All right.
Oh, also, second funny thing, that dragon he's on is not like a standard wyvern, like a normal wyvern rider. That is a straight up fucking Lagoo's dragon that he drugged.
Oh,
Oof.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's the
Actually,
princess from
yeah, it's Krithnaga's brother, right?
yeah.
No, Cuthbert.
Yeah. Did he get a card in this?
He had a card. I changed it to a different dragon Lagoo's later, just because it needed to be a different color. Yeah, he used to have a card, but he fucking dies right after this fight, so
Nerd.
spoilers.
All right. Next up.
Hooray.
I don't like this card already.
The Black Knight.
All right, so this is our Ganondorf boss. This is the Black Knight. He can only be placed on the stage by the effect of Zelgius, the Black Knight. He is a 3/3 12k with 3 soul. Experience, if this 1/1 red guy that we'll talk about in 2 sleds is in your level, your opponent's character facing this card cannot deal damage by effect. So it's another type of anti-burn. If this card is sent to the winning room from stage, you can take the 2/1 that you would have used to summon this guy out of your winning room and put it where he used to be. And when this battle opponent becomes reversed, deal 1 damage to your opponent. This has shades of Iraha, but is arguably more sane, but less sane.
The card I would compare this to is It's not exactly similar, but it's a card I want to talk about. Where is this card?
Should we talk about the 2-1 before we get too far?
Yeah, we can talk about the 2-1. So, the 2-1 Zelgius, spoilers, Zelgius is the Black Knight.
No
He's a
way.
2-1.
Crazy.
Yeah, wow. I only bring it up because this is like Volk didn't talk about it in the last video. This is the actual guy on Renolf's climax. The thing is that he's actually a general in Benyan's army, which is the theocracy, but he's secretly one of the 4 Black Riders of Dayin,
Which is this
who is
color's
like,
country.
he's like the Mad King's like right hand or left hand, right? One of those like 4
Yeah.
guys.
He's the top guy under the king.
Yeah. So, anyway, when he's played on stage by the effect of the Black Knight, you can heal 1. And then when he's placed, or when the climax is placed in your climax area, which is what is it, a bar? Or a bag?
It's a stock soul. I don't actually know.
It's a stock skull. Well, JB didn't put it on the slide, that's why I'm asking. It's a green climax. And when you play it, you can sack him to... Oh, no, I'm sorry. You sack the climax and the Black Knight Zelgius to summon the Black Knight from your deck or waiting room. So you can only resolve this effect once per turn, and you can only get 1 Black Knight on board per copy of Zelgius, basically. So if you want multiple Black Knights, you have to go turn over turn to summon them. Blank, you want to talk about this for a second, and then I'll talk about the card from ReZero I wanted to mention. I'll come back to it. Just give me a few minutes.
I have no idea how to feel about any of this. It doesn't inherently have like a level 3 effect. I guess the burn 1 is a level 3 effect because it's fucking costless for some goddamn reason. He's not hexproof. That's a bonus for him. Bouncing him to hand means that they can't just replay it. Like you can Adachi this and all this other stuff, but I just feel like a lot is happening here.
Alright. So the card, it's a stock still, excellent. So yeah, we see the combo here. So the card in ReZero is this Demon's Demeanor Rem. It's a 2/2 with 2 soul and 14,000 power. It says at the beginning of your encore step, you have to put this card into your waiting room. And then whenever it's put into waiting room from stage, if you have a character with Ram or Subaru in its card name, you can put the top card of your deck into your clock, put a card from hand to waiting room, and then summon this 3/2 Rem from your waiting room, which I think either top checks or heals on play. And then the Rem also has a climax combo that says when it attacks, if you have a character with Ram, Remru, or Subaru on board, you can choose a level 3 or lower character your opponent's backstage and bottom deck it. So it's just a card that like clears a card in backstage. The reason I bring it up is because there is precedent in the game of Weiss Schwartz to have these sort of big binguses that have weird effects and big power stats, but can only be played by certain effects, or like just at the end of the turn you have to get rid of them. So I think there is precedence for the card being worded like this. And again, you like the Rem, you can I think summon only 1 of it off of the changer. Again, you can only resolve 1 Zelgius to get the Black Knight. And the card just is good. It's a 3 cost. It hits big. It gets on reverse burn 1. You can early play it, but again, you're only ever getting 1 of this, and it's not like it has hexproof or anything. So like, I don't know if the card's like perfectly balanced, but I think it's a good card. I think it's a card that it's a strategy that's worth playing to in this set. That's basically my thoughts on it in a nutshell.
Also, side note, it is night trait.
Yes, which matters for the night deck.
I mean, I would hope the Black Knight was night trait. I'd be very sad if he wasn't.
I mean, if he had a pet wyvern, he would obviously be wyvern trait.
His flavor text is incorrect, but you know,
Will you
the definition-
survive?
No. Then it should have been "'Tis but a flesh wound." The true Black Knight.
Fucking Monty Python.
Arcanine.
Fucking the "Will you survive" line is his voice line in Fire Emblem Heroes.
That's perfectly fine.
That's right.
Still should have been "'Is but a flesh wound." Hell, put it on the 2-1.
Put it on the 2-1. Funny enough,
I have
actually.
no idea if this package is worth playing. Like Green's had some like decent stuff, but you are giving up a climax combo to like play him when he's actually like valuable. This is probably a better anti-burn than the 1-1 we looked at, actually.
Granted, this one only blocks a lane, but it's fine.
It turns
Well, yeah, but the
off
other one blocks
gas.
nothing if your opponent has 2 extra stock.
Right.
And then like this is a really good defensive card, actually. Like, yeah, you can only summon one of it, but you know, tap counter good. The set has tap counter, and because you said the 2-1's on a stock soul,
Yes.
so this being on a stock soul, it helps pay for part of cost, and you don't lose any soul damage because stock soul, all its abilities are on play, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Although interestingly, this has the weird like Kanata timing on it, where you could give the Black Knight the soul, or you could not give the Black Knight a soul, depending on which way you activate the stock soul and this guy's abilities.
Right.
I think
Just
this card's good, but I don't.
swings for 4.
I mean, if your opponent's out a lot, I mean, it's swing for 4, swing for 4.
4 without triggering a soul.
Dude, and
Which-
then you trigger the stock soul, and you're swinging for 6. Let's go.
Shit. Oh man.
I like it, but I don't know what to grade it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a weird. It's a weird strategy.
Oh wait. Okay, so question. You can't stand by this.
Nope.
No.
Okay, alright, hold on. But you can get this out at level 1.
Technically, yeah.
And there's not even
Wow.
a level 2 or higher thing on the combo. So you pay 2 and you do all this stuff, which is only pay 1 because the stock soul is a stock soul. Meaning you can have this 3/3 swing for 4 at level 1 if you so desired.
And also burn 1, because you're definitely getting a reverse with this at level 1.
Yeah, this one.
Or level 2 for that matter.
This one definitely needs a 2 or higher on it as well. On that other guy. Even considering that, this is such a weird thing to like dedicate slots to in your deck.
You definitely play this in like the defensive Fire Emblem deck. Like you're gonna focus on summoning this motherfucker and tap counter, and like maybe you play the anti-burn in this deck because people are gonna be using resources to try to get rid of the Black Knight. Maybe they don't have the stock to get rid of the other anti-burn guy. Like I could see something built around this. I don't know how good it would be, but it seems like summoning a 3/3 at level 2, that doesn't really happen because they just kind of stop printing 3/3s for one thing.
Something that's worth mentioning is this on reverse burn one is cross turn timed. I don't know if you mentioned that earlier.
Oh god.
Blank.
I mean, yeah.
That's why it's defensive.
Like this, you're right. I've played against this combo. Volke has not played this with standby, so thankfully I've only ever had to come up against this as a level 2. But you're right. It doesn't really do much. The only really annoying thing about it is that you can't deal auto damage in his lane, but you have to have something that clears 12k. Otherwise, whatever character you're swinging into this is going to be pinging you 1, even on your turn. The reason for that is flavor, because the Black Knight has a skill called it Mantle? Nihil, that's right. And Nihil basically negates all of your combat skills when you try to attack him. And then his weapon Alendite can actually counterattack from 2 spaces away. So regardless of what you do to interact with him, you're gonna take a damage back, and you're not gonna be able to touch him. So like, it's a very flavorful card. I think it's just costed correct. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that the burn one is like cross turn, this card would be a lot less threatening than it is. Like the ping ones, the threat of pinging ones, and also the threat of multiple ping ones over the course of level 2 and level 3 is what really puts this card up to the, like, I would say like B plus to low A tier for me. If it wasn't for that, it would be like whatever. But yeah, the card is actually pretty scary.
I think this card not being hexproof is like why it's okay, but it's also why I don't think it would see like a ton of success, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
They,
More a
Yes.
because
gimmick
like
than anything else.
it's like oh you got anti-changed.
Oof.
Anti-change counter like murks this card. This card hates
It also
anti-change
dies
counter more
to
than
Adachi.
anything. Especially if it sends it to another zone, because it doesn't summon the 2/1 back if it goes to another zone. It doesn't get the reverse because it went to another zone before battle happened, and it didn't deal its 3 soul of damage. And you wasted a climax combo to get it out early.
Mhm.
So I don't think it would ever be like meta relevant, especially with how they keep printing those really good like
Level 1
re-zero
anti-change.
costed anti-change to zone counters. Like Ayakashi's got one. Re-zero's getting its third set, so that card will be back in relevance for re-zero, or like
Ari Feretta
re-zero will
has
be
one as
meta
well.
relevant. Oh, the
Hashimoto
Ari
has one.
Feretta one, like you'll never be able to summon this again. It sends to fucking memory.
Ah, bitch.
He
Fog.
gone.
Oh, Oshino Ko's has Emilia cost, but also sends to memory because the Ari Feretta one is discard 2. That one is like the Amelia cost, which is like insane.
That really is insane. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's
I
on
will.
Aqua.
I will say originally that experience effect I think was hexproof instead of the anti-damage, but that is the reason it is no longer that.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah,
this
but
thing was just, if this thing had hexproof, I would be like, this isn't allowed. But because it doesn't have hexproof, it's now
Yep.
not good enough. I don't think it's man, custom stuff's weird, huh?
hmm
I'm gonna give it that because I think the idea of building around it is cool, but I
hmm
don't think it would ever be meta relevant, if that
I mean,
makes sense.
granted, the fact that this thing is 3 soul, you could just, I guess, like you said, play defensively and just side every turn until you're level 3, because this is
You
still going to be doing. I mean, you wouldn't get the on reverse, I guess, but you could do it. Your opponent would have to front into it.
still doing
I
numbers.
agree with that, except you can only get one out a turn, so you'd try to be
Right.
siding with your other lanes too, and it would get really funky.
hmm Granted, in the knight deck, you could be playing Kieran and Oscar, and Kieran just swings for 3 soul as well. So that's a strategy, I guess.
Oh wait, hold on. If we're playing this with standby, right?
Mhm.
Okay, hold on. I'm about to break the game or something. Where's that dude? Where's Jack Skellington?
Joffrey, yeah.
Oh my god. No, it's Jover. You're gonna play down the knight, and then he's gonna be hexproof, and your opponent's gonna cry. You're gonna stock sold this. You're gonna trigger the standby, and you're gonna be the greatest of all time.
That is
Oh
definitely a
god,
fictional
we haven't even
event.
gotten to Bertram yet.
So like I don't know if that's real because there's only one standby in the set, and this takes up a climax slot. But if you can get the
No,
Joffrey
that's 100%
down,
real, actually.
Fucking the last card in green, if we get to, or when we get to that, you'll see why that is very possible.
oh no. Wait, is Joffrey Knight trait also?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh shit, it's over. It's
It's
Jover.
over.
Alright, well the Black Knight's real, guys. I'm giving it the plus. I'm
Granted, in the night deck, you probably aren't going to be playing that red that goes for the experience cost, but on reverse burn 1 for the entire game from level 1 if you get lucky enough to do it in that order.
No, in the
Yeah.
night deck, you're absolutely playing just enough
Yes.
of him to make it work.
hmm
I was about to say you're definitely playing enough of this experience condition that you can have this anti-burn shit online at level 2.
Especially
Right.
because you're playing
Especially with how
standby
like
anyway.
finishers are now. If
hmm
they're gonna try to finish you from level 2, like for sure, because you're gonna be
Right.
playing like uber defensive, and they're eventually just gonna have to go for it.
hmm
So instead, you're just gonna be like, actually, you can't do that either.
Yeah.
And if they want to answer this, and the only way you really can after this thing is hexproof, which is Adachi you still get to burn them one.
Fuck. Anyway, speaking of Adachis,
Well, hold on, because no, yeah, the Gadget already put the note on
swole
it.
band.
No, the fact that this hat is a level 2 that just has a heal effect on top of the other bit is dumb.
Yo,
I mean,
is the Black Knight real now? Is this a real deck now?
It could be.
if we're talking about knights, then yeah, it is.
He's talking about
You'd
standby.
you'd have to play like stock soul standby, but it's a real deck, yeah.
I'm gonna give it the plus. I don't know how real it is, but I think that makes this card better. That it can become hexproof.
Yeah.
Your opponent would have to like double anti-change counter you because they have to get rid of the Joffrey first.
Mm-hmm.
Can they even do that? Because doesn't the Joffrey give himself hexproof?
No, he's
Oh,
not like
It's
Jack.
specifically not Jack Skellington. I just
Okay,
keep calling him
so
Jack Skellington.
we did change that. Okay, that's fine.
it was always like that. That was not a change.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the other thing is his level 3 effect. So
Yeah. Okay.
We went over this yesterday.
I mean, like, look, the 2/1 Zelgius as written is banned. It just is. Like,
It's bad.
Which
we talked about this in Hall. I have no patience, right? If you can get these changer cards out without the fucking level restriction, they just become broken. Like the Fuumoko's at level 0 because that was possible. That shit was broken. This can get you a 12k potentially uninteractable cross turn at level 1 with 3 soul. No, absolutely not.
My actual
okay, to
complaint
be
about
fair,
it is the fact that it has the heal. That's why I know it's off budget, because it has the heal. Like legit.
wait, this has a fucking heal as a 2/1?
The auto effect.
Yeah.
It's when
But
the
only if
3/3
you-
dies, you get the 2/1 back, and the 2/1 will heal you.
Okay. Okay, buddy. Good luck with that. Good luck getting that one past testing, okay?
Exactly. So like,
You know what you could do is, and I'm not saying you should do this, but you could make this a 3/2 and then keep the second effect as is, because then the only way you would ever do it is if you were at level 2. And then the on play from effect could be just your level 3 effect.
Okay, now
know?
admittedly, the Black Knight can't be hexproof at level 1 because
You can't stand by Joffrey
to hit the
until
standby,
level
you have to stand by the Joffrey, and the Joffrey's
Yes.
level 3.
2. Mm-hmm.
But you are playing enough of this. Like, if you're playing standby stock soul, you're definitely playing this red card that needs to be an experience just because you need red anyway.
Yes, for the standby.
I mean, it needs a level restriction, but if we edit it to the level restriction, like this is getting the same grade, I think, as the 3.
because you literally can't do it without it. It has to, by definition. Do we need... We already kind of went over some lore for him. Is there anything else that needs to be said before we talk about his experience condition?
I guess when we get to the next card, we'll just go over the fact that he is in fact a triple agent, not just a double agent.
Beautiful.
Triple agent is crazy.
Oh, God. Alright, yeah, let's talk about the man who makes the triple agent thing happen. This is Blank's read.
Oh, I'm already terrified of this card. The beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can run this card to an open position, hand on core, and then there's a memory Adachi. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Also, like, so this card is like kind of a cool standby target too, because it would just play like Yoshino, except also it has hand on core.
Look, we
Okay.
talked
I'm
about the
pretty
Scooby Doo
sure-
review, right? Like having your Adachi have hand on core doesn't actually matter because like your opponent's not going to want to swing into this, right? They're just
Except
going to
this
side.
one can run in front of your opponent's early play, so this
Right,
one
but then they
does
just-
matter.
But then they just side it. Like the only reason this actually
The
matters
Med-Soul,
is if,
brother.
okay, whatever. Like I don't know why you think this card is suddenly better because it has both of those effects. You're still almost never going to use the encore. I think.
So it's not even about the hand-on core, really. Like, it's a funny thing you can do. This being a fucking free runner, do you guys remember Dal meta?
No,
Like,
I wasn't there for that.
Nope. None of
so
us
Dal meta
played during
has a card on the ban list, and it's Yoshino.
We do know that.
Yoshino is pay 1, stand and swap, bottom deck Adachi. Sure, you have to lose lanes or whatever to use this run effect. If your opponent is playing down shit that can answer other standby shit, this punishes them for doing so. So, like, yeah, you don't save your card like you did in Dao. It's probably not as strong as Yoshino. But the funniest thing is like, if your opponent's playing this a mid-game strategy, like Spy, or like half of all Hollow Live decks ever, you can Adachi them, hand encore, and then when they try to bounce back with the same thing, you just run in front of it again. And like your opponent's just over here like, I can't do anything to this fucking card unless I somehow kill it. But if I send it to waiting room, he's just gonna discard a card because it fucks me up more to have this thing on board than him having an extra card in hand. And then if they side it, it just means like you don't have to field an attacker next turn and you're gonna Adachi them anyway. It's like you're in a lose-lose situation, brother.
Yeah.
He will not allow you to follow that ship.
I will not allow you to play early plays. Not to mention, this also dunks on other standby decks, which is also what like made Yoshino an issue because it was like if you were playing the Dao standby and your opponent actually had something that could like match your power or whatever, you would stand and swap. They can't swing into the Yoshino, and they saved their other card. So this isn't like as broken as Yoshino, but this is still very, very disruptive to anything that's playing anything early,
And
which is
yeah,
like most decks.
and like
So,
oh god.
so just the funny lore, since you brought it up that way. In the level that he does this shit is the same level that I was talking about Ranulph earlier, playing the cat and mouse shit. They're trying to get to this ship to escape and like go around the long way to another country. And in the middle of this level, if you go the wrong route, the Black Knight just fucking pops out of a house in the middle of the level. And he is way over your fucking character's current levels. So if anyone's in his range, he just fucking one-shots them and keeps going.
Hmm.
But when you get to the boat, the Black Knight makes it to the harbor just as you're leaving, and this motherfucker pops up and he's just like, nah, you stay here. Don't go after the boat. And all the soldiers are just like, who the fuck is this guy? And then the Black Knight's just like, alright, we're leaving, bye. So,
Also, I think it's really funny that this thing's experience condition is like also a counter to the Black Knight. It's very funny. It's like, you can go to memory now, and we'll never see you again.
I have a wonderful time.
but yeah, on that note, this guy is in fact like very important to the plot, even though he is a background character for most of the game.
Oh god. It's 50 Shades of Grey all over
Fucking
again.
so, remember how I mentioned last time that the Heron tribe, which is Leanne, have like really fucking long lifespans?
Yeah.
He's one of them, but he lost his powers a long ass time ago.
Oh.
And he's been alive since like the original conflict with the gods. And at some point, he just lost his shit, and he was just like, all right, fuck this world, let's just set it up to destroy it again. So he's just manipulating things from the back. And the Black Knight is doing all of his, like, errands for him.
Hey, Zelgius, did you finish those errands?
It's like, did you get the medallion? Did you give it to the mad guy? Okay, good job. What do you mean you killed the father?
What do you mean? All right, let's get some ratings on this card so we can continue.
This is like,
We're on track for our 4 hours here. That's right.
this is probably, it's pretty good. I don't know how good, because like the run effect is not as strong as the stand and swap. But this is really funny. This is like probably the best Adachi I've seen in a while.
Oh, and the encore thing comes from the fact that this guy has an ability called Mantle that just nullifies damage unless you have a specific blessing to get past it. But that's enough on the lore.
It kind of I think another thing that keeps this card in check is that this set only has 4 standbys instead of 8.
Mhm.
Yeah, that helps.
So you're only ever running half capacity standby.
Well, somewhat.
Eh,
Except he's not Knight trait, guys. He's fine. He's not Knight.
he is not a knight.
Mhm.
It would be a minus. Anyway, next card.
All right. I barely talked about Sephiroth. I just wanted to say he's one of my favorite characters. It's so interesting that this like the most handsome man in the world is. He's not even like violent either. He's just like this is the logical thing to do. You guys won't stop fucking fighting, so the only thing to do is to bring the goddess back. Like that's the only he's not like malicious or anything. He's like very
Right.
logical. And I respect that about him.
Mhm. All right, this one's my character. I get the waifu. This is Draco Knight of Day and Jill. If you have 4 or more other universal trait character, this card gets -1 level in hand and can be played without color requirement. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you can put the top card of your clock in the waiting room.
There's so much wrong with this card.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
missing
it's
a
supposed to
soul
be true
trigger. It's also missing a soul trigger. And also, I think it's supposed to be bigger than this, even if you add those things.
It used to be a 10k, but I was told that was too big.
No.
I think 9. I think it's either 10k or 9.5.
So we have a. So yeah, let's just cover all the things that are wrong here. If you're gonna do one or the other, right? Because I mean, totally fair that you do an Aladdin and not give it a soul trigger. One or the other is plus 1,000 power. Both gone is like 2,000, which puts you at like 13.5 base.
There you go, I fixed it.
Okay, cool. So we're now the only actual issue with it, which still puts it off budget, is the fact that the color requirement thing is gated behind the continuous condition. Remember that the reason that Suisse is the way that she is, that she has her power condition on top of it, is because it's fractional. So you could have the can be played without color requirement outside as its own thing, or it needs to have a minor power condition on it. Which is, yeah, you need 250 power worth of a power condition on it.
Okay.
Like Suisse.
So final power is 9,250.
Yep.
Correct.
You can also just put that on the card, yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. Who cares?
There's an
It's
Aqua
fucking-
with a weird ass power level.
Exactly.
There's an Oski with a weird ass power level.
It's
One
a
of the
thing. It's a
premium
thing you can
boosters.
do. You just can have fun with it. All right. Other
I
than
mean,
that,
there's
like
a Stitch that's 1 power. Do you guys know about that card? That card's funny as shit. It's
Stitch.
1 power. It gets 2,999 power and clean cut if all your characters are the proper trait. It's so stupid.
Wow.
I think it's clean cut. I know it's 1 power and gets 299.
Oh wait, yeah, that card's in Disney 100, right?
yeah.
It's one of the Disney sets. There's so many
Yeah,
at this point.
I
That I
remember.
just don't
Yeah,
know
you're
what
right.
it is.
It is a clean cut. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That card is hilarious.
So honestly, just for lore reasons, this probably could be a 9250. Because Jill is like notoriously mid as a character.
She's mid at the
Notoriously
beginning,
mid.
but she's really good if you actually put any commitment into her.
Yeah. The problem is you get for my experience with Jill is like I know she's different in the first game, but in the second game you get her in the middle of part 1 and she's immediately useful because she can fly and that gives her a lot of mobility. So you go through all of part 1, using Jill and for her mobility and syncing her and just like giving her stats. And then you get to chapter 1 of part 2 and you're immediately granted Har, who is not only the best Wyvern rider, he is arguably the best character in Radiant Dawn. So like you already like using Jill,
Aside
and
from
you
Ike, I guess.
you immediately get the character that immediately outclasses her, and within like 6 chapters of you getting Jill, and that's like just so it's so unfortunate because she actually is good. It's like Jill is like a 7 out of 10, but like Har is like a 10 out of 10. So like it's just like so unfortunate for her.
In the first game, though, she's definitely better than Har,
Yes, because you get to use her more.
and you get her earlier.
Yes.
Those two things are the same thing virtually.
Yeah. But if you'll notice, the logo says she's from the first game. So.
Yes.
He's defending his waifu as much as he can.
We all gotta do it from time to time.
I'm just not a fan of Jill. She's like okay, but like it's so disappointing how mid she ends up being in
Listen,
Radiant.
as-
Although I should say there is a feature where you can actually transfer save data from Path of Radiance to Radiant Dawn. I've never done that. So like it's potentially like if you get her to like level 16 tier 2,
Yeah.
she becomes broken if you get her in part 2, like the second game, but like you have to play the whole game and then transfer your save data to your Wii. Like it's
Good
just
thing I did that.
yeah. So she does become better given that context, but
Yeah.
in terms of the card, would I play a 4 more early play 9/5 vanilla that just heals?
If you have
I mean, I
nothing
put this card in Scooby Doo, and I think in that set we talked about like maybe giving it a soul trigger, like making it have 3 soul and making it weaker so it does more damage, or like maybe not having it have a soul trigger but letting it sit bigger cross turn. Like I like these as they are, and I like that it's a rare. I like because like if you make this like any stronger, give it a power condition, then you have to bump up the rarity. So yeah, it's good. I would play it, but like
with
it's just like again, it's like Jill herself. The card is just kind of like a 7 out of 10, you know.
It'd be so easy to just do something with this that makes us, because like even with a power, even with like with only the 250 power condition that it gets just from being the fractional budget as it is, or just by taking the color requirement out of the thing, like this is absolutely still a rare. I feel like the reason that Suisse was double rare was because of how big she got, like on attack.
And also she's clock to stock and not just heal.
Yeah, whereas this would be like a modern, like uncommon or rare, even if it just had a condition that said if all your characters are Tellius, this gets 500 power.
Yeah, I mean, like if we're talking about Hololive, right? Like, there's the Fubuki is a rare, and it's 2 or less. It early plays, has a power condition, and is just heal. So like that power condition thing does not bump rarity.
Yeah, not by itself. Because obviously it just depends on how hard you go on the math on it. With the basic one, this if it only got up to like 9/5, it could be an uncommon. Alright. We're good.
Here's the fun weird card.
Hey, I heard this card's important.
Yeah, this is Maiden of Sacrifice Micaiah. 1/0. She is event reset. Instead of the other thing that Anya has going on, get ready. When this card is placed on stage from hand, if both you and your opponent have at least 1 card in your respective clocks, you can pay 1 stock, and each player heals. Yeah. Yeah. I'm still up in the air on if this is a 1500 cost effect, but
this card's like okay. It is 2-sided, and you still have to pay a stock for it. Like it's not like a free heal for yourself. And both players have to have a card in their clock, so it's not like you can play this and make it 1-sided. Nah, you impact both players with this.
But
the reason for that is flavor, which I'm sure Volke will go into. And then incidentally, it's an event Rize, so you can like when it's played, look at 3 and find her event. It's like fine. If you're playing it with the Micaiah, it's like good. You need to play it obviously, but like even in decks that are not playing Micaiah, it's still pretty good.
Also, this set does have an event money counter, so that's another option if you wanted to go for that instead.
Is it full field?
The money counter?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay. It's the good one then. It's the broken one they won't print anymore.
I think I got it from Little Busters.
yep.
Yeah. That's the old set. That's all the old ones don't have the condition on it. And they're like, that's too good. And then they're like, I think they've started to realize that the full field ones kind of blow because everybody's playing bounce anyway.
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason. Mostly Shauna, I would say, but like there's no mid ground for it. I think they would just like. I think most people would just prefer to have a tap counter or something. And similarly, I think I would prefer just to have Anya more than this card. Like this second effect is weird and like kind of cool,
It's quirky.
but you know how in Spy Family you because you're pulling out your finisher early and stuff and it's like hand intensive, so you got to like brainstorm more and to try to keep your hand up and stuff.
Right.
What this is just like a vanilla event Rize with like flavor text on it. And it just makes it a smaller attacker because this thing's a flavor effect. I really like the art on it though, and I'm glad that I can play this in the because I've already started like playing around this Anya thing. Like I'm imagining how this would get done.
So, lore-wise, one of her other abilities, I mentioned she's a healer earlier. She is like granted a special ability of her own called Sacrifice, which allows her to sacrifice her own HP to heal somebody else. And it also clears status conditions as well, but that's whatever. So that's why it heals both players, because it's kind of like you heal yourself, but you're healing your opponent too. I guess.
I don't know.
You,
I
I think you.
it's event
No,
Rize good, but this other effect is just too strange for me to ever want to pay it, I think.
Which is why you don't really have to. But it's there if you need it.
Which means it probably should be less cost on power. I don't know. Like, maybe the condition on it's paying for rest or something, but this could probably sit 4K at least and be fine.
You know, I do like that if you're going up against a deck that
Oh
has like
yeah,
a
that's right.
super
It fucking disrupts your opponent's clock for color reasons, potentially. That's the fun way to use this, I guess.
the thing I was thinking of is like if you're playing against a deck that's like got a super nut finisher, like they're gonna try to kill you from 2. Having this as like a cheap heal
Yeah.
is really funny to like try to heal out of their kill range. And
Right.
then also, if they're trying to hit level 3 first, you could like deny them hitting level 3 first because your finisher that gets played with this comes out at level 2, so you don't care.
Right.
Found it.
So that's actually okay. I'm on board with this. Also, like the Anya having like a different card that has its quote unquote on play effect because this can heal you. Yeah, it heals your opponent. That's why it's cheap. But like, I'm talking myself into liking this card more and more because you're gonna play this card at level 2, and then you're gonna play this Mocha for 3 to like just stick 3 anyway.
Right.
In theory, I'm gonna bump it up a little bit actually. I'm gonna give it a B.
It's a fun card. Oh, also
got
just a
him.
little quick fun fact. That bird in the picture is the goddess. They don't know it yet though.
Seems legit.
Fucking brilliant.
Wait, which goddess? The Chaos one or the Order one?
Chaos
The
one.
chaos one.
Okay. Seems legit.
Yeah. Alright. Next up.
This is Soth of the Dawn Brigade. That's the mercenary group that Micaiah is a part of. He's a 1/0. Oh yeah, that's right. Blank's gonna love this card. When he attacks, when his battle opponent becomes reversed. If this bag is in your climax area, you can draw a card, then choose a card in your hand, put it to waiting room, choose a Talius character in your waiting room, and return it to hand. So you have to have Micaiah on stage to gain the power condition.
Micaiah or Pike.
Yeah, but if you have it, he swings at 8k, and he has this really cool on reverse, draw, ditch, and then salvage. I'm pretty sure this is kind of like the Mume from Hololive, right?
Oh, hi.
Similar.
Definitely different.
Does she draw? She's also
She's
not
like-
on reverse either.
No.
She's-
Mume's like revealed top add and then salvage one or something. Ditch one salvage.
Yep.
Yeah. This one just draws the card.
The first effect is on Diablo and from Slime, and Diablo is pretty cool.
I remember what character this is. This is isn't this not White Snake, but isn't this a JoJo card?
I don't think
Mhm.
so.
Hang on, let me check it.
Okay.
I think it's what the fuck is his name? I can't get. I think this is Father Pucci, isn't it?
Oh,
No.
not even close, actually.
Just as a fun side note, this used to just be an Obero, but that didn't
Oh.
work very well with Bag.
This card is cool. It's getting a B plus for bag plus. Yeah. I actually I don't know how I feel about these like require specific name. I know in Slime, Rimuru just has a million cards, so it never actually matters. And like we've seen some good Micaiah cards, but I don't know if I've seen any ones that like want to sit in the back row. Have we seen one that wants to sit in the back row?
There's a one in like 5 or 6 slides that is specifically Bag support.
Let's go. I love bag, baby.
But also this works with Ikes as well, and there's a decent number of Ikes. I don't know if any of them want to sit in back row though.
Yeah, but I want to play the cutie, so.
Yeah.
8K on reverse for a glorified salvage. Hmm.
And filter and salvage.
Yeah, but the hand filter would be better on bar than bag.
True.
Maybe I'm hyping up bag too much. I'll still give it a B for bag, but this is mostly just an on reverse salvage. Yeah.
I think I don't think I played against this version of the card. I played against the Obero, and that was absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
But this version of it seems really good. I'd probably play this even without like the bag support.
Man, I actually wish this was Diablo.
They're starting to print these kind of cards that are like, okay, on attack do Maguro, and then if you add a level 3 or higher, like you get to draw a ditch. Like that's what the Jolene does, and like the Bremerton in Azure Lane, right? It's a normal cigarettes, but if you happen to mill a level 2 or higher, it gets a soul for the turn, right? Like these just random payoffs on level 1 combos.
Yeah, the first one I remember like getting a bonus effect is in Love Live Superstar, and it's the soul one. And then they printed one in Psychono where it's like if you grab a level 3 you get to bounce a character, which is like fucking awesome. It's like getting an extra soul, but also with the upside of bouncing a costed character if you want to. And Psychono still doesn't play because they'd rather just be boring and play the Obero every goddamn turn. Yeah, I wish this kind of did the Diablo thing though, of where it would like you look at 4 and you put 1 to stock and 1 to hand.
Is that an on reverse?
Yeah.
Yes, and it's
That's
the
Ike.
power condition of the first card.
Spoilers.
Yeah, that card's also in the set as a different character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is like on reverse thing without even passing the 2K along like they do sometimes. It's just got a draw ditch on it, which is like fine, I guess.
Do we need to say
It's
anything about
Bag
that?
because he's a thief.
Should have been an 8
Uh,
bag deck. I'm waiting for
minor
somebody to build an 8 bag deck besides Scooby
lore.
Doo.
Yeah, lore. I guess. Soth is a thief. Him and Micaiah are like a thing for the game. But if you notice in that picture, he is a little child and she is fully grown at that time because Micaiah ages very slowly due to her heritage.
Bird.
She is half Heron. In the game, there are people that are born between the shapeshifters and regular humans, and they get labeled as the branded because at some point, and it doesn't happen to every child of that pairing, but they will get a marking on their skin that their blood just kind of brings to the surface. And if people see that, they immediately just start treating that person like shit because they have weird powers and also they're a mixed breed. And people are racist in this game until after events. take place. Whatever. But yeah, branded are few and far between, but Micaiah is one of them. She's just better at hiding it, except for the aging thing.
Alright. More Micaiah. Oh, I forgot about this card. Oh, I remember you.
Oh yeah, Blank is free this war crime too. Great.
All right.
This one has a typo on it, I think, maybe.
Maybe.
First thing, level assist. Woo. Second thing, which I read already, and I'm like, what? And now I'm like reading it again. Rest this card. Not pay one, rest this card. Rest this card.
Mhm.
Flip over 4. And send them to your waiting room. For each climax, you shuffle 2 cards in your opponent's waiting room back into their deck.
Yeah, not your opponent chooses to. You choose to shuffle back.
Well, that's like semi-normal. Like,
Yeah, but
for
this doesn't have a fucking cost on it. Like, you'd think if it doesn't have a cost, your opponent would at least get to choose. But nope, you get to choose.
I mean, you could make it they choose 2 characters instead of 2 cards, I guess. But meh, whatever.
You could almost play around this card, except the next card exists, which I also read ahead of. Sorry. As, like, my only gripe with this card is that it's like semi-anti-synergistic with the Mocha or whatever, the Mocha 3. But even then, it's like it's a level assist anyway. So, like, say you whiffed your bar for the turn, you'd still have this to do. Because the brainstorm is not stock costed, which definitely needs to be corrected. The freaking Xenon damage brainstorm, or whatever, is you have to rest 2 characters to do it. And
Macross has one
it's
that's
pay
just
1, rest 2, and then you also have to pay 1 to get it on board because it's a 2-1. Oh, don't get me started on the Macross brainstorm. The Macross brainstorm is very stupid.
Yep, agreed. That's present.
Yeah, go ahead.
Technically, they have 2 stupid brainstorms because they have a damage brainstorm that's a costless. The brainstorm effect's costed, but the card itself is costless. And they have the one that like mills your entire deck every turn, so your deck just functions all the time.
Just to remind everybody, the Botan level 3 from the Hololive Gen 5 trial deck is on play from hand, ditch 2 cards, choose 3 cards from opponent's waiting room, and shuffle them back into your deck. So that's about where this effect is priced. Again, well, no, I guess that's not a level 3 effect. That's just the on-play effect, right?
That is just
If this is a level 3 effect, Shuffle 2 is free.
Okay.
Because Love Live Superstar has a card that is actually on the pick list because it comboed with a whole bunch of other bullshit to make the tier 0 put climaxes in your opponent's clock deck.
You're right.
Because you'd shuffle climaxes back in, but it's its only ability. So it's a 10-5 on play, shuffle 2 cards back.
So, like, my point is that that's sort of where you're looking at for level 3s. So the fact that this can potentially shuffle back 4, 6, 8 cards on a brainstorm, this probably needs a stock cost of at least pay 1 or pay 2 to rest.
And
But you can with this.
alternatively,
So
what
like,
if it was
that's where
level
it's
3?
I mean, even level 3 brainstorms have stock cost. You're not going to get away with a brainstorm that's just rest this.
I think if it was a pay 2 brainstorm, you would be fine. So I'm going down on this. And maybe at that point it's 500. But like, yeah, no, it absolutely needs to have a cost on it.
It's like, oh, you gotta pay 1 to use it, and it's like, well, what happens when it stands the next turn and then it's free?
What happens when you put 8 clean cards back in your opponent's deck because you went all out on your climaxes?
Yeah, as printed, this is just play 1, play it down, pay 1, play it down, rest them both. You mill 8 for each climax you mill, shuffle back 2. So that's just like probably 4 to 6 cards you're doing on average just by playing 2 of these at level 2. And yeah, Blank mentioned the next card we're gonna talk about. I'm not gonna tell him what the next card he's reading is, but that card is also in the set, and let's just say I've had to sit against this bullshit, and like I don't remember if I lost to it or not, but it felt really toxic to play against because every like you cancel you like your opponent plays these down at level 2, right? Your opponent's gonna do the brainstorm. They hit one climax. They shuffle back 2 cards. Okay, you don't care, right? Because your opponent's doing some stupid shit, right? But the thing is, they're playing Micaiah, so they're gonna mocha you for 3 and send in any climaxes they see to your waiting room, and then you're still gonna cancel because you're a good player. So then it goes to your next turn. You're gonna unga bunga them, and then you're gonna go back to their turn, right? But the thing is, because they mochaed you on their last turn, unless you paid resources to get your deck into a slightly better deck state, your opponent can just like do this again while you're out 6, and then just put again 4 to 6 clean cards back in your deck. I don't know if anybody's sat against Rushia when you have 6 climaxes out, but that shit just loses you games. Because Rushia just gets to shuffle back 4 clean cards off her climax combo. This is doing it again for free. You just rest yourself to do it. And you can counterplay it. There is counterplay to it, but it just does not feel good at all.
You know what's really
And
funny?
the fact that it's costless is just even more stupid. This is like an A+ to S for me.
It's worth the shit.
The the card that we talk about, Macross. Macross also counters this card because they refresh every turn. So
Neat.
it's like, oh yeah, it's fine.
I was going to mention too, this card's very good in standby. Obviously, you can't play 8 standby, and you have to be playing a bunch of knights to make this work. But you can get this card out at level 1, and it has level assist. So like, this is a card that you would want to stand by at level 1.
That's very stupid.
Yeah,
Yep.
this needs to be paid too. There's no way this gets by being a pay 1 brainstorm.
Alright. Here's the updated then.
Is Xenon pay 2? Is the damage brainstorm from Alicization 2 pay
No,
2?
it should just be pay 1.
Pay 1 and like rest 2?
Yeah.
There's a Sheltier one as well, right? I might be thinking of Desmond's custom set because he had a fucking burn brainstormer in Assassin's Creed.
Most of them are pay 1s because there's not a lot of brainstorms they push past that. They just put other conditions on it. All right, we're good. We can move on to the other card that apparently cracks this even worse.
Yeah.
It's Volk's read. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, we're doing
this
this again.
What do you mean we're doing this again? Patrine. If you have 4 more other characters, this gets -1 level in hand. That should be Tellius characters, but whatever. On play, pay 1, stock swap.
Off budget for sure.
And also Knight trait before we even get past just the effects.
Yay!
This is so it would sit at 9,500 because again, like the other card, like it's 1K for both of these effects.
All right, don't twist my arm. We'll make it 9.
Darn, he's really getting me after me there by
Listen,
making
like-
me make my card stronger.
But also like this is like, do you even care that much? Like, okay, I guess with the fact that you can force them. No, because you wouldn't want to, if you're gonna stock swap them, you wouldn't necessarily want to just force more clean cards into their deck because you want to hit climaxes out of their deck with a stock swap. So that's
No, but
you do the stock swap first.
Yes.
okay.
So that they have cards in the waiting room.
It's how like stock
Okay.
swap Fumio is stupid and they don't print it anymore.
Right. So this
Except
is
for
like,
7 Deadly Sins because English can't make sets.
so this is Gamba stock swap Fumio.
What?
Yeah, but then the Fumio is repeatable every turn, so
That's true.
except it's like it's
That's
not
a
stock swap
trade-off.
Fumio, it's stock swap Shuffleback, which is like better and worse because you don't have to shuffle back in climaxes.
It's arguably better.
Your shuffles.
I mean, look, the thing with these is, if you, I mean, there are cards that like on play at level 2 can stock swap your opponent. Like Bang Dream has one, but that card is a on play pay 2 stock swap, and you need I think full board for that card to resolve. This could just early play. So like it gets to have the level 3 version of stock swap, which is 1 stock cheaper. Like I don't think I need to explain how good that is in general. And then again, we have this like Micaiah thing as well that just makes this absolutely correct.
Well, now it's much worse because you're paying a total of 6 stock to do that at level 2. And for the chance
Yeah, but
to
you
get
can
a
still,
shuffle back. Because it's not guaranteed.
I guess. It's just early play stock swap is pretty ridiculous. I think the one thing that's saving this card, from me just giving it the double S, is that there are not a lot of playable green cards. Like there's a lot of good green cards, but there's not a lot of splashable green cards that you'd want to try to play in everything. So just like in Hololive, right? You actually have to be trying to fix for yellow to play the Matsuri or the Tiara, right? Because they're both stock swaps, but they're both yellow. Like you have to find a way to squeeze some amount of green cards in your Fire Emblem deck to make sure you can play Patrain here,
Let me
which
let
is
me
actually
tell
a
you.
deck building. So
It's not nearly as a big of an like Hololive. That is a non-issue. There's enough utility cards in yellow to make that work. In this set, maybe that's a fair argument because I don't think we've seen any like solid utility zeros out of this color yet.
Let me tell you about a little set called Uma Musume. Some decks would not play any other red cards except 2 copies of their stock swap, and they would level one and play the other. That was an actual play pattern that they. It's so it was so silly. Like
Holy shit!
I want a stock swap, and I'm gonna play a stock swap. And if I need to play a second one, not only to have better access to it, but because I need red, it's very silly. And they don't even have like the best like clean clocking options in Uma either. Although I will say, if you want to try to do that in this set, you're probably not going to be able to early play it unless you're playing like a 2-color deck. And your second color is just 2 of this green card.
I mean, if you've got enough mill and you've got some kind of level swap somewhere, then I don't know. Maybe that's more accessible.
This set has a level 0 Ayame level swap.
Okay. So yeah, you do whatever the fuck you want. You can play 2 of this and you'd be perfectly fine.
Also, the
Promise.
climax swapper in this set is green, so I guess that's a utility 0.
Oh yeah.
GG.
All right. Cool.
GG.
We're good. We've done it. But
I think
also,
Uma's climax swap's also red, and I think that's the other 0 they would play.
I mean,
there's
but,
also a Cosmo Brainstorm in green that you can play if you really want the extra fix.
yeah, maybe honestly, maybe depending on the deck. All right. you got a rating.
Oh, I gotta give this a real rating. I think it's like an A+, obviously.
Climax swap could have.
Good stock swap before level 3, really good.
All right.
Stock swap before level 3 that never mind, you do need full board for it. Never mind. I'll stop talking.
All right. Do we care about her as a character?
In the first game, she is like one of the earlier villains that kind of pops up over and over again. Standard bad guy, like very strict with her soldiers and will kill one of them if they do cowardly shit or something. It's not explained in the game, but she is also one of those branded people. It's not entirely clear what mix she is, but also in the terms of the country that she is fighting for. During the Mad King arc of their country, they didn't give a shit where you came from. As long as you could be strong on the battlefield, you would get a position.
That tracks.
So she's like, it's home. And then she kills people with a fire lance.
It's a living.
Yep.
All right.
2 of the 4 riders are actually branded, because Zelgis is also branded.
Oh,
yes.
Hi. Okay. Wait.
Yes, he is. Actually, JB, there's a scene in the second game that shows where Zelgius's brand is, and
that is a card in red.
Wait.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it then.
You'll get to see it. Yep.
Yep.
Sorry. What?
Let's just say he's pretty you know.
Sorry, I have completely lost all capability to hear. I looked at this card and I saw this first effect. Yeah. This is Goddess of Chaos Ewan or Yune.
Yune.
So we'll do the thing that makes more sense to me first. On attack, pitch 2. If you do, put the bottom 4 of your opponent's deck in the winning room to deal X damage, X number of climaxes. Found. Cool. When this card is placed on stage by an effect, you can put the top card of your clock in your waiting room. So you can't play her from hand, but you can do any other thing that gets her onto the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Which is how the old Ashinera thing worked. Also, this is a standby healer, but only a standby healer.
Mm-hmm. The Marine in the Rushia trial deck, I'm pretty sure has that line of text.
No, it's
Yeah,
by
also
hand
by
or
play.
from hand or by the auto effect of, which is very different. This
Mm.
card is fascinating. And I think it's fine as it is, because it doesn't heal on play. So you have to do some wonky shit to get it to work. And like,
Mhm.
I'm on record, literally the first set that I made had a healer that let you heal on standby, provided you did something. This I feel like this is perfectly fine.
So I don't know what this budget for the top effect is,
It's like
but
1K
if
a
it's
piece.
yeah, but like, so this is bit like when I read it, I thought it was just on play heal, and then there's I think it should be bigger. It might be fine where it is. I don't really remember how.
I know the second effect is from the Toru, the pitch 2 Icy Tail 4. And
Yeah,
her first effect is like draw 2 pitch 1, I think.
Okay.
yeah,
And she sits at 10k.
Oh, okay, yeah,
yeah.
then you're right. This would. Well, okay. It's weird, right? So, like, we've talked about this, when I was workshopping the healer that works on standby, I was told that no, it couldn't be just for free. The fact that the fact that the fact that she is sitting smaller brain, uh, I feel like that's fine because it's literally anything that can play her. Like from hand, from waiting room, from clock, from memory, from stock, any zone that she goes in, if you have a way to get her out of the field from there, she gets to heal you. It's literally just any kind of effect. The only thing that you can't do is hard play her.
Right, and that's why I'm like,
So, quick
this is
question.
probably fine.
The way that first effect is worded, would that work with Encore as well?
Ah, fuck.
Yes.
Ah, fuck. Ah, we broke it, guys. Ah, we broke
No, no,
it.
no, 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 no. Because there's not a way to give her hand encore. So
Except for the next card.
What?
Go ahead.
You're
Oh.
fucking with me. Hold on. All right, we're putting this on hold. Next card.
Next card.
Oh no.
All right, hold on. Let's just speed read this one, right? Okay, so this is our bank combo for the set. This is Great Rider Gawain, level 0 assist for traded characters. Has a soul trigger. When the bank is placed in your climax area, you can choose it to one of your other Telly's characters, and it gets pitch
Oh,
one
okay. No.
either.
Just gets twin drive and
Yeah.
hop back.
He's
It doesn't.
lying.
Oh, never
He's
mind. It's
lying.
not.
He's
What?
lying.
What? Okay.
He's
Never mind.
lying.
We're good.
Okay.
Kill him.
It scared
Mods.
the ball. It scared everything out of me.
Mods, beat this man to death with hammers.
Nah, the reason I thought it had that is because I technically. It might be word for word, but I think I made a derivative of. Fuck, what's her name? The dragon chick from Ari Ferretta's level 0 combo.
Yeah. She's like,
Because she
Well,
does similar to that.
well, this one gives an entire extra effect.
well, yeah, she gives like, well,
I think she
sorry.
gives it the
Her other
Obero
ability
effect.
is just rest, give 1500,
Yeah. There's
and the other one is just give a character bounce back.
Yeah, I think she gives Obero to something else.
So there
Or at
isn't
least the bounce back.
so there isn't a way to give this encore. So it should be encore 3.
Yes.
I think it's fine to pay 3.
Hold on.
Oh God.
He's got to now double
We'd
check.
be skipping
everything.
very far ahead, but there is a level 2 in blue that gives Encore assist.
What?
In a modern set, come on, man.
Okay, how that card isn't attached to any other packages, is it?
It's attached to Ike.
Fuck. Okay, so we probably shouldn't move it then, so we could leave it to talk about Ike. Oh, it's that. Oh God, no, it can't possibly be the card I'm thinking of. I hope it's not. All right. Well, regardless.
We'll get to that when we get to it.
Okay, so what? It's like Encore, like pitch Encore.
Pitch a character.
Okay, yeah, this we can't do it. We gotta pick a lane. We gotta figure out which effect you want this to be spawnable off of, and then put that down.
Mhm.
Damn.
I mean, if I put card effect, would that rule out Encore because Encore is a mechanic?
No.
No, it's still an effect. It's an inherent effect on all cards.
Yeah.
Basically.
I gotcha.
So like, and
All effects except Encore.
yeah, you could literally just do that. By
Sure.
by any non-Encore.
Yeah, no,
effect.
because when I originally made that, I didn't even think of Encore as like an effect like that.
That's fair.
But I just thought of that just now, and I was like, it's
Good catch.
kind of.
Good catch.
Maybe don't think anymore, and then we'd be problem solved.
Yeah, but then we couldn't mold over his cards, though.
Yeah,
That's just a
true.
loss of content.
Where would the content be?
Somewhere in the other 4 hours. Blake, you want to put this in letter?
I mean, I would like these off finisher effects, but I've played Kakyoin, which is a heal odd play and this and like another power condition, but don't worry about that. But I much prefer these when they're like the Tori, which is draw 1 or draw 2, ditch 1, where it pays for half the cost. Because
Yeah.
Icy Tail's like a little random to be actually ditching, 2 cards out of your hand plus playing this to the field. And this one
Yeah,
doesn't really
that's
have an
what-
on-play effect.
That's what I was gonna say. The Kakyoin's good, but the reason it never gets played in JoJo is like it doesn't do anything. Your Jotaro finisher heals. Your Jolene, I think, heals. The Dio heals. Like you all your finishers heal. So you want your off finishers to be utility cards, and Kakyoin just isn't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that makes this card more playable. Or no, sorry, less playable because it heals.
Yeah.
My bad.
Makes her better for
I prefer Dragon Maid.
I prefer Dragon.
Hashtag. All right, so this is obviously the goddess of chaos. She's like significant for a bunch of story shit, but I think we've talked about it mostly with other characters. Is there anything that needs to be said specifically for her?
Wait, flavor plus. It's Icy Tail's random chaos. Let's go.
Correct.
Right.
And she has an offensive and a defensive.
Yeah.
So
Good for her. All right. We can, in that case, move along. Talk about this man again. So we've already read the card.
I want to read the card. You freaking this card. You would completely messed up this card.
Exactly.
I'm gonna read the card.
I'm gonna read the card.
All right.
Okay.
So all your level 0 Telios characters in front of this card get 1,000. This is Grail, by the way. He's actually one of the 4 riders. He's also Ike's dad. And he's also a knight, which is relevant. Like you actually might play this in the knight deck. So yeah, assist to level 0 Talios characters, 1,000 power, very good. He has a soul trigger, and then his climax combo is when the bank, is placed in your climax area, you can choose one of your characters. It gets ditch 1 twin drive, and then when it's front attack, you can bounce it back. This card is actually bonkers. If you consider that if you triple this at 0 and play the bank, you can have all of your Gawains choose each other. So they all get ditch 1 twin drive and they all get bounce back. It's effectively an Obero at 0.
No, you pick one or
Yes.
the other.
Oh, it gets one of the. Okay, well, shit. So much for that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, but my point is, this is actually like a good combo. If you're playing a plussing 0,
Good combos.
you get to just incidentally give that plussing 0 twin drive. If you're playing a weak 0 like this, you can side attack with it and then incidentally have it get pop back on front attack, so you can do it again next turn. If you want, you can just put this in your back row, but like this is technically a front row or back row combo. Is my
You
point.
could play this with Zahark and give Zahark the fucking bounce back so that you can accelerate every turn. Don't actually do that.
You could do that, but he's not a knight, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I just think it's I read this card a little bit because I knew I was reading it, but like this card actually like it has potential. This is one of those level 0 combos that like because you don't have to sack the climax, this is a card that might actually be playable. Like you might actually play for Zahark at level 1 and no combo. You could play this in like the order deck. You could just play the Micaiah
Yeah.
event Rize at level 1 with this at level 0 and then like give all your Micaiahs bounce back so that you can keep digging for your events, and then when you hit level 2, now you can just triple Micaiah, triple event, and do that.
Wow,
Like
you can
that's
just
another
bank
strategy you
on
could
it.
try to do. You know, I read this card a couple days ago, and I was like, this card's bad. What the fuck is like? You're wasting your bank trigger by putting this on here. But like, this is actually pretty solid. Like, I think it's obviously I'm sure like Blank's gonna come at me and be like, no, this card's bad, and here's why. But like, first time reading this card is actually not terrible. It's actually pretty playable, I would say. But come on, Black, tell me on it. What? Come on,
Okay.
show me what you got.
When this card was printed in Ari Ferota, I thought it was really cool. You know, depending on your targets, it might be playable, but there's just not a ton of value here. Like you say, oh, I'm gonna put this in the front row. It's 500 fucking power. You sure you can discard the side to do the twin drive thing, but like, why? It's like you need to be over
you get
hand
more
size,
charge.
and this card doesn't actually plus you hand. It's the thing. This thing needs to sit on the board and like give that auto ability to another character, meaning that past level 0 when you can side attack with this thing is sitting in your back row, meaning you're only plussing one time because you're putting a brainstorm in your other back row slot because you're a good player, and then plussing once a turn when you could just be playing a different combo. It's the fauna problem almost.
Right.
Arguably,
Nah.
Fauna Plus is better than this because sometimes you
No.
don't want a card back to your hand, or sometimes
This
your opponent
card
plays a backup and your
This
effect
card is
means
better than
nothing.
Fauna because you don't have to sack the climax.
Why are you
Been
fielding
over
multiple this piece of shit?
You're fielding multiple so you can give multiple characters the ditch one twin drive and bounce back.
You
Okay,
get
so you're gonna
one.
crap. So okay, all right.
You
It
get
might be
one,
better than
and it's
Fauna,
one
but that's
target.
only in the instance of where you have your bank and you have another copy of this that you do not mind crashing.
Well, you could also
Because
side with it, bounce that copy back, and then you had it for next turn.
why are we siding? Why are we losing damage for no reason when you could just be playing a good combo and not
Because you're
lose?
doing this at level 0. You're only doing this at 0. Like I said, you're going to do this at 0 into level 1 with the Zaharks.
How are you
Right? That's the
sculpting 0 like that? How are you just gonna have the guy and the climax when this isn't on bar to go to your hand? Like at least the freaking Dragon Girls was on bar, so in theory you
that's a
could
good
loop it
point,
every turn.
actually.
Like how are you
Because you're
sculpting
not
for
going
this guy? Like when you could just Ricky for an actual level 1 combo instead of this guy. One of our locals plays the dragon because he is, you know, obsessed with tits or something. I don't know.
Understandable.
It's a it's a waifu deck, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let you play it. But the card is bad. The card is not good. And adding this other like disc, you could have made this free twin drive and not do the discard twin drive because like that's a climax combo. That's on the Rimuru, the standby Rimuru is perform the trigger check twice.
Yeah, he gets it to himself.
I mean, sure, but this card is fucking dog ass.
Well, yeah, it also needs to follow budget rules, which already is dubious because the Dragon Girl combo that you've been talking about has a character condition on it, whereas this doesn't. Now, it gets some. It may be able to secure by that because it is trait restricted. It's level 0 assist, which is not how that's normally done, but it gives you like 500 budget to like wiggle room your way through. So it kind of works out because it's giving you the option of like 500 and like like a 2K or something. Like the frontal attack bounce back is a super high value effect because like combos like just do that by itself. But yeah, no, this card, if it gave both effects, it'd be correct, sure. Because it only gives one, you need two to give a single lane, twin drive, and bounce back. When what you probably would prefer to do is just have a card that has that trigger check effect by itself, and then maybe do this as your combo if you're like that hard up on other shit you want to be doing, which you're not. The set has enough cool shit in it that like the only reason for this card to be as mid or bad as it is, because yeah, no, it's not mid. For this to be the way that it is because it's using a completely experimental trigger. But like, no, and also you put it on Ike's dad, so like just the extra insult to injury.
So, for that point, this is technically a prequel card to the actual story, because the girl in that climax is Ike's mom, and she dies before the game starts.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Hi, Ike's mom. The other thing is, that knight gimmick deck is very short on level 0s to begin with. So just having this without its combo, and we'll get to Bertram when we do, but
No.
being able to run bag with Bertram
No.
and this is actually a little better than you probably think.
No, you're not telling me that you're wasting you know this the knights don't have many zeros, and so you're putting in a worse level 0 to waste slots? Like no motherfucker, that's not how that works.
No. You're putting in a level 0 combo that just happens to be knight trait.
Yeah, so that is a level 0 assist?
Mhm.
In a deck that doesn't have zeros? You couldn't
Sure.
It
at
gives
least
other
make
characters ditch one twin drive. It's fine.
No, you could have at least, if you're gonna be that you're gonna be that like wild about it, make it a fucking generic global 500. The fact that it's level 0 assists means that it's anti-synergistic with the one deck that maybe is considering playing this.
Also, I didn't notice till just now, but this card has a soul trigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is actually, I'm gonna leave my grade as that. The plus is for the soul trigger, actually.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a fucking terrible card.
If you're not trying to play to the Black Knight, you can play this in your deck. I think that you guys are gonna get to the Bertram and you're gonna actually see the potential of this card.
I have seen that card, and I would play actual cards. I would play actual real cards instead of
This is a
I
500
think-
vanilla with a soul trigger on it. That's what this is.
That okay, but that's trust. But I think that's actually good enough. I think it is.
I mean,
I'm about
in the world-
ready to give this the triple F minus if Gadget keeps talking this card up.
yeah, give it a rank so we can move
I'm
on
not
to
talking
another
this
card.
card up. I'm talking like it sucks that we can't talk about it right now on the slideshow because it's like too early.
We can.
To discuss
No,
that.
we can talk about it. You just move the slide and we'll talk about it.
All right, you want to talk about the
We'll
Bertram?
talk about it. Yeah.
All right, fuck it. We going it live. All right.
We're skipping Bertram and going back.
No,
I want
drag it up.
I want Volke to
okay.
read the Bertram because I want Blank to read the Raphael when we get to Raphael. So Volke, read this card, please.
Okie dokie. All right.
I think I took a peek at this card, actually.
You did.
You did.
We talked about it.
The first time we went over yellow, yeah. So this is Demonic Rider Bertram. If you have 4 or more other knight traded characters, this card gets the following effect. Auto climax combo. Reveal your hand. When a climax is placed in your climax area, if all of your characters on stage and in your hand are knights, minimum 1, all of your knight characters that are revealed for triggers get the same trigger as the climax you placed until the end of the turn.
So like we
this
said
effect
before,
does not stack.
Yeah, effect does not stack. So like we said before, if you're playing standby and every knight in your deck is gonna have the standby trigger. If you're playing 2 soul, every knight character that you trigger gets +2 souls. So like if you happen to be playing standby bank and you don't have the standby, you get to play the bank trigger, do the Gawain combo to give a character Twin Drive, now you have 2 chances to get search your stock for a card, add it to hand.
Yeah, but I
Because
don't
Bank
like
Trigger searches
Bank
your
Trigger.
stock for a card.
But I don't even
So this,
like
like,
Bank Trigger.
Bank is not great, but it's a plussing trigger at least. Like, it's a card that pluses you stock. The tricky thing with this is that if you're playing standby and you're trying to do that thing with the Black Knight, you have to be playing Sephirim, which means you're playing some amount of bricks in your deck that are healer trait and not knight trait. But if you're going to go for a full pile of knights, my argument is I think you would consider playing the Gawain combo as opposed to like standby. Obviously, playing standby with this is cracked. But if you want to play the Black Knight, you might consider playing Bank and Stock Soul because then you can get up. You can just go Mega Plus with this Bertram at level 1 with the Gawain because you're gonna play like 2 Gawains. You're gonna play like 2 or 3 Bertrams. I guess you might only play 1 Bertram because they don't stack. But the point is, you're gonna give 2 lanes, ditch 1 Twin Drive. Every time you trigger a bank or a character, you're gonna go +1 to hand. So you're gonna go +2 off that, plus whatever your other level 1s are gonna be doing. There are probably better things that you could be doing. I don't know that you're going to want to play a whole deck of knight traded characters to make this work, but that is the payoff. It is like it's not completely worthless, I would say. And yeah, probably getting the standbys is more interesting, but then you run the risk of, if you're playing the Sephiroth with the Black Knight, you're running the risk of having non-knight characters in your hand when you do the Bertram thing. But just getting to give your characters potentially extra trigger checks when you have the Bertram, that synergy I think is really important. So this card actually is like fringe playable. I think it's like a C, probably C minus. I don't think it's an F plus though. I think you guys are severely underrating the Gawain. And obviously the Bertram is just crazy, but we could talk about that as well.
Oh no, this Gawain combo's dog ass.
The Bertram is a crime against nature. It's not a Weiss card. You put no, you wouldn't ever no. This is a thing you're allowed to do. You can't just like print every card of a certain sub trait gets to have like any trigger no.
Every card in your deck gets to be the fucking Avatar state card.
Yeah, no, like as for all the shit that Gadget has given the Avatar state, and then we print this.
Guilty as charged, honestly.
Yeah, no. you mark this card as S plus because it's fucking legit broken. Like you literally pick whatever. We've talked about this like kind of off camera bit in the past because this card has not really changed much at all from previous iterations. But it's like you play like choice. This gets you like 3 choice triggers guaranteed a turn. Like as long as you're hitting knights, which is not hard because literally it's either you do that or you're hitting actual standby triggers because you just don't play an event if you're trying to play to this card. Alternatively, you don't play to this card and you get to play an actual deck, which I guess is a real consideration. Do you want to play a normal human deck of Weiss or do you want to play this?
You want to play fucking Yu-Gi-Oh where you summon 45 things a turn.
Yeah, where it's
I standbyed and then standbyed and then standbyed.
God, yeah, no, it's just
Yo, I just looked ahead. There's actually a red card that has inherent on attack ditch 1 Twin Drive. So
Yeah,
like
it's
if
the
you play
Ayana.
that card with the Gawain, now you can get that card to have the bounce back and the ditch 1 Twin Drive. Poggers.
all right.
Okay,
Fair
Gadget,
enough.
I mean this in the nicest way possible. I don't fucking care. This card is
Gadget,
terrible.
I mean this in the nicest way possible. Fuck you.
Specifically with a pole, like the
I've
dragon would have
played
wanted.
against this card too many times to think it's ever more than dog ass.
Have you ever played against Bertram though?
Okay, if I play against Bertram, my opponent better be playing real fucking cards and not this garbage ass bank trigger shit. Like, they should have. Even if this was chance, like in fucking Blau or whatever, which is a pseudo real thing, like for Weiss, because it's in Blau, but it's not in regular Weiss. But it's the new green trigger basically. I would still not play this card. I would rather play the chance trigger or the bank trigger raw instead of playing this card. I would find better cards to play than this garbage level 0 that does fucking nothing and play the I would rather play the climax raw. I would rather play the climax raw.
I mean, that's technically what you do in Bertram anyway. Just play blank climaxes because they all work with Bertram.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
look,
okay then. Then what are we even talking about?
Well, here's what I'm going to talk about, right? So, you know how I mentioned there's like that card that gets Ditch 1 Twin Drive in red? There is also a JC in blue, which has Rest Self, give a character a level in 1k, and it's also a knight.
So this card's
So-
irrelevant, is what you're telling me.
So
I'm giving it the triple F
Bertram's
minus.
completely
I'm
irrelevant.
giving it the
You just
triple F
took out
minus.
two knight level
You
zeros
cannot stop
and
me.
the exact same fucking payoff. And it's like, oh, but you have level 0 assist 500. Yeah, but the fucking JC just gives a character 1k in a level. Like, it's like the same.
Yeah.
So there's not even a good reason to play the fucking combo.
It's triple F minus. Get the fuck out of here. The only reason I would ever play you is because the climax has Ike's mom on it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm telling on myself a little bit here because like the fucking the Bertram is actually like I that's my fault for not reading ahead, but like yeah, this card's bad. The Bertram is the real payoff here. It's important to highlight that this card does have a soul trigger at level 0, but as JB said, it's probably overspec because of that. And like this makes me angry because like I actually want Bank to be good. In theory, this is such a good trigger that I want to be relevant, and this combo just fucking isn't. Like if it was like if you had the red guy that's just like a Ditch 1 Twin Drive, you would probably still play this to give the bounce back effect. But the set fucking has JC, so like why would you don't even need this? It's just a bad combo. Like, I'm trying to, and obviously the Bertram is just a war crime. We all know it's a war crime. He's a war criminal. I mean, fucking look at him.
Dude,
He's
even in his
like,
flavor text, he has 4 S's.
Yeah, but it is an interesting implication of like this is a thing you can do in this set. You can play a pile of just cards that are kind of mid. But I mean, even looking at these cards, you have Ditch 1 Twin Drive, you have a JC at 0, you have a Drop Search, you have a couple of cards that are just functionally filter cards. At level 1, you're going to play Bertram. At level 2, there's a card that can get on reverse, do things. Oh, by the way, there's a Knight Brainstorm, which Volke didn't make before. That card is brand new. So, like, you're not even, like, hard out for deck speed or anything.
That Knight Brainstorm has been around since the beginning.
Yeah, I don't believe you. I mean, I'm sure it has, but I don't believe
you played against it, so...
You've got the early play stock swap, you got this thing, and like the Bertram is active all game. You can just at level 3 have one Bertram in your center stage, and suddenly you just, like JV said, if you're playing choice, you just get to trigger choice triggers on every swing. If you're playing standby, you get to trigger standby triggers on every swing. And if you don't feel like doing any of that, don't worry, your Black Knight is a perfectly fine top end as well. Like it is a legitimate strategy. This card is a payoff to doing it, but yeah, it's just this. You get to you're basically playing a different card game at that point. You're kind of playing Vanguard, not White Schwartz, and that's obviously some of us here like playing Vanguard, but some of us here like just playing White Schwartz. But yeah, no, Blank is right. This card is so fucking bad. God damn it. I wanted him to be good. I wanted Grail to be so good, but he's just whatever. I hate it. Fuck.
The old card that Grail used to be was decent.
I can hear the YouTube comments now. I already know Spyro is going to be typing like rare Gadget L take Lamau a forehead whatever. But like, look, I just want the cards to be funny and good. Like, you can get off my case for trying to get this one. It's not my fault. I didn't read ahead and see that he's already got a JC in the set. So you know, fucking whatever.
It just puts the reaction to the mold in the review instead of in the comment section. Safe.
We play the bank trigger just for bank trigger, and because, man, I love Fauna.
Can I give the climax a grade? I'm gonna actually hold on. That's a good idea. We're gonna like. Here's what I'm gonna do. There we go. This card's like a B.
B for bank.
Actually, hold on. It's a B minus because it doesn't combo with anything. But the Gawain's like terrible.
What do you mean? It combos with Bertram.
All right.
It's B for bank. It's B for Bertram.
I feel like
I'm gonna be real with you. I like bar better than bank. I think just because like at least bar has implications of looping stuff. Like
Yeah, your
bank is
knights
just
become
like,
bars.
did I trigger the card I want? Not really. And then I got a
Yeah,
blind stock anyway,
but-
like I do for
but
every
bank
other
is
green
like-
trigger.
Bank is like door for your stock. You know, it's like
You realize
it's
how
that-
much worse that is?
Okay, yeah, but it has a soul trigger. It's fine.
that's why it
Like,
has
Care
a
if
soul
it has
trigger.
a soul trigger.
That's why it has a soul trigger, and it just gets to be bag if you don't want to search because you already know your stuff. We can move on. We can skip past Bertram. We already talked about Bertram. Do either of these people have any lore thing that we need to stick on, or can we just move on?
Short lore for Bertram. He is on the same drugs as Ashnard's dragon,
Tracks.
except he's human. And he is
Oh yeah,
batshit insane.
right. I do remember talking about this one day at locals. Yeah, this guy got
Um,
fucked.
Also, minor spoiler, this is Alincia's uncle.
Oh,
They didn't kill him, they kidnapped him and drugged him.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, a
Do you
little bit.
have
He gets
a-
better.
Do you have a card for Renning in this?
I do not. This
Yeah,
is
her-
Renning. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Shh, don't worry
Her
about
uncle's
it.
name is Renning, but they changed his name to Bertram when he was one of the writers.
Interesting. Okay.
Anyway.
All right, Blank, your
Next
turn.
war crime.
You get to
Hi,
read this war
Raphael.
crime.
Rest this card. Choose one of your rest characters and stand it. And brainstorm. It's a check 3 brainstorm.
No.
Guess what? This card can stand the Micaiah that we molded about earlier.
Yeah, but now the Micaiah costs 2, so who cares?
Yeah, that's improved for sure.
I do because you didn't have to sit across from that card with this card next to it. Okay.
I did. I played a game or two against that.
Deck speed out the air.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this act ability exists.
Does it?
Rest to stand arrested.
I'm pretty sure. Because it's an act ability, so it would just be like you get to use a different act ability twice on the turn.
Uh-huh.
But the act ability generally probably still has a cost to it.
You
Because-
know how that insane that can be, though? Because the whole point of having acts with the rest gate is to not... Like, Magic, anyone, heard of that card game? Like, there's a reason.
Well, yeah, but this isn't fucking Magic.
Well, this also,
Also-
would be fucking 500 power.
Dude, I don't know. They have some crazy abilities that only cost 500 power. Plus 1 hand size is only 500 power.
Yeah.
Which is, like, more broken than this act ability, I'm pretty confident. It's like, what in Weiss does this actually matter for?
I mean, the Micaiah for one thing.
The Micaiah costs 2 more stock. Just, like, whatever. Like, you could just play down a second level assist. And, like, yeah, that's 1 extra stock. But whatever. I don't
You
think...
could also play down 4 copies of this card and rest each of them to do that brainstorm effect 4 times.
If you're playing 4 already, you could already do the brainstorm 4 times. You don't have to use that first act to restand the same brainstorm. It doesn't mean anything.
This can go infinite with itself. And another
That is
copy.
true. You can just continuously stand each other, and this is a timer stall card more than anything. No, I swear, Judge, I'm doing game actions. Look.
Mhm.
Look, I'm playing effects. There is rest pay 2 healer, I guess, if you wanted to heal 2 with an act
Pay
skill.
4 stock for it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You also just never have to worry about whiffing on characters that get benefits from act abilities because this can just do it.
I mean, yeah, but that's just like a good benefit. It's not anything like broken.
I don't even think there is anything in this set that benefits from acts.
Fair.
I could be wrong, but pretty sure there isn't.
Like reusing an act ability is good. and keeping your brainstorm on the board instead of just playing a second copy of whatever act ability you want is like it has merit, but it also means you're not brainstorming for the turn. At least with this card, I don't see
Which I mean is fine.
that big of a problem with it so far. It's possible you could print like well, God, what was that card in No Patience where you just like burned X is the card in your level, and
Oh
then this
yeah,
just restood it, and there was a card that could already restand it.
yeah. It was already
It's
card
Aqua.
the Aqua, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still
I
laughing
think-
about that.
I mean, I
Dude.
think Gadget and JB are just upset about what this used to be able to do.
No,
I mean,
just have a
that's your
fundamental
fault,
problem
Volk.
with
That has nothing to do with this card.
No, I have a fundamental problem with the idea of just like it reads too much like a magic effect to me, and there's a reason I got out of magic. So
I mean, I don't remember where it's from, but I'm like semi-confident that this first effect exists.
I mean, look, if you're this set has bag in it, so it is fairly easy to ramp stock if you need it to.
I mean, we have
like,
Randolph, and this is a
Y-
Lagoose.
Also that, yes. Like, it's a Lagoose that synergizes with Renolf. I think, like Blaine said, I don't think this card's like busted. There's nothing incredibly busted. This card is breaking. Like, cool, you get to rest down this to stand your pay 2 healer, so you can heal twice. That's cool, but like, you could also just play the 1/0 Micaiah that pays 1 to heal both players. Like, whatever. I mean, like, I'm still mad about that Micaiah like shuffleback brainstorm, but like, if it's correctly costed, like if it's a ditch 2 or a pay 2 or whatever, like, if as long as you can pay the stock for it, it becomes way less unfair because you feel like you're actually committing your time to do it. And like maybe with the Renolf, that's too good because like you could potentially, I don't know it. I don't think it's that bad. The reason I'm giving it a B plus is because it's a Cosmo brainstorm with a fairly good upside. Like if you're playing standby, this might be a strategy you play to where you try to stand in the Micaiah at level 1, and then you get to start shuffling back cards. And this card just gets you more cards into your waiting room for you to trigger off standby.
I think this brainstorm's like pretty good, but I don't think there's anything like broken about it.
so
And just on lore,
Yeah.
the restand effect just kind of makes sense because, like I said before, that's what the Herons do. They are the you get to go again characters.
Yeah, it's too good for that. Like it's perfect lore, game mechanic crossing there, but like, fuck.
I mean, the tricky thing with Cosmo Brainstorms is that ability costs like 2k power, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if this isn't literally a 500 effect, this thing is over budget, which is why I'm fairly confident. All right, we'll circle back if we find the card, or we'll put it in post. That's what we do. So until the next card.
Silver-haired main Micaiah. Act rest this card. Choose one of your Telios characters. It gets 1,000 power until the end of the turn, and pay 1 if you have another Telios character. When you check a bag trigger, you may pay the cost and draw a card, which is pay 1. Oh, also she has a soul trigger.
God damn it.
Side note before people start talking about this,
Okay.
JB, you helped me budget this, so
Yeah, it should be fun. Cause like 1K,
All right,
500,
explain how. Show your work.
1K. It's 1K, 500, 1K. Soul Trigger is 1K. The rest effect's 500 because it's giving to trait, and then this filter effect is 1K.
How much power is Global 5? How much power is Global 5?
Because you're looking at like the K or something.
You bet your ass I'm looking at K.
Is it traded? Because remember that matters.
All your traded characters get 500 power.
Okay, so
This is what I keep telling
1K.
you guys. The pay 1 when you trigger a bag is 2,000 power. What are you doing to get this? It's because it's a traded character. When your traded character checks the bag, it gets to be 1K.
If you have another traded character when you check the bag.
That's dumb. I mean, I guess it's technically correct, but I don't like it. I still to this day don't know why this card needs to have a soul trigger on it. Like it's already your bag support. Like it's one thing if it was Scrooge McDuck, like a card that you like is just bad and you would never play ever. Like this is a card that's actually you're already playing because it has an upside, and then it just also gets to have a soul trigger because we feel like it. Like
So this card having a soul trigger, like if you wanted to play bag bar with the fake Anya top end, soul triggers are actually actively. So Anya's on choice, and you would think, oh, I want to be playing all these soul triggers, and it's like no, actually, because Mocha, you don't want to trigger a soul trigger, like really badly. You don't want to trigger a soul trigger when you're moking for 3. This actually is almost a downside for the card in this set anyway. So like you could, if you take the soul trigger off, actually like the card better in that deck anyway. And it also just makes the budgeting a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really a point to keep it. It was just a hee hee ha ha funny moment.
It was just like,
Okay,
haha.
that's right.
I still
What if
think
it
you're
had a
better off
crit?
playing the door level 1 combo with the bar. So like I don't think you play this. But if you're playing the Soth, this card's fine because it gives the Soth his 3k power condition. So cool.
B for bag. I'm on board.
Hooray.
Alright, now this sits at like 1500 power, by the way. Okay. Next up.
Oh, okay.
This is Young Thief Soth on play from hand, or I'm put into waiting room from stage. JB, give this a minus.
Yeah.
On play, pay 1, ditch 1. If you do, look at X, add 1 to hand. X is number of characters you have. These typically need to be pay 1, ditch 1 character on play. And I'm pretty sure because it's double time, this has to be 1k power.
Oh Lord, where's Dengeki? I know there's a card in Dengeki.
Is it?
I love that card in Dengeki. It's not dual timed, but it has a memory. It sends a level 3 to memory, and then the
Oh,
level
the pizza girl.
3. Yeah, we love Pizza Girl.
Yeah.
Apparently that
Fuck
show's
that.
really good, but I haven't gotten around to it yet.
I found it.
So
It's
in
not
Seven
useful.
Deadly Sins, this card is 2k, pay 1, ditch 1, traded character. Look at X from top of deck. Choose a card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest of the waiting room. X is the number of characters your opponent has. This is number of characters you have. And it's double time. I think this has to be 1,000 power for it to be like the cost is just wrong. It has to be pay 1, ditch 1 character.
Nope.
And even if that cost is right, I still think it's 1,000 power.
Nope. Nope, this is fine. It's just that the power is wrong. There's an Oceano card that is on play top 2 rearrange and on play pay 1, pitch 1, check top X, where X is the number of, oh, interesting, other characters you have. That's fascinating.
Yeah. So that card peaks at 4 cards. The Diane can look at 5.
So
essentially.
counting itself is apparently enough to change the cost on it. Is there really not another? Maybe
Yeah.
it might just need to say other, and then it goes down to 1k power, and then it's fine.
Yeah, for being dual timed.
Yeah.
So change the cost to 1 character rather than a card.
Yes.
No.
Or
'Cause
change it to other.
change it to other, and then bring it down to 1k. So number of other Tellius characters you have, and then bring it down to 1k.
How much is event Rize cost?
500, like the top.
500 power.
500. Okay, never mind. We're good then for this to be 1k.
Yeah.
I have played this card in Seven Deadly Sins before, but the fact this is double timed is actually insane. There's a lot of decks that would try to play this card.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And obviously Hololive plays this card as like a one of in a lot of their decks. So
I was gonna say, like, wait, isn't this just Bay? Except they have
Bay is
conditions, so it's not just
Bay
like
is
straight
check
3.
Yeah, Bay is check 3 is
Uh,
check X. But yeah, same idea.
They're valued the same, I think, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
This has upside because you can check more cards.
Yeah. I mean, I play the Pizza Girl.
On the bright side, a couple of the next ones, except for like 1, are all pretty simple effects, so we should be able to speed through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notably, this Soth, if you check the emblem, is from the first game because this is like young Soth. In the first game, he was like the worst character, but he was at least a thief that was like good
Free.
at stealing shit. But that was about all he was good for.
So in the first game, you only get 2 thieves. One of them is my character name, Volke, and the other one is Soth. Volke charges you 50 gold to pick a lock. Soth does that shit for free the entire game.
Thanks, Soph.
Is Heather not in the first game?
She is not.
Oh,
Heather is
okay.
not until the second game.
Right.
Did I make a card for Heather? I don't think
Nope.
Yeah.
I could have sworn at one point I had one. We might not have just put it in. Probably not.
No. All right. No one
More
has to
promos.
No one has to burn a turn on this. This is our rest counter. This is Mistress of the Evil Eye, Nyla. It's the pay for pitch trait version, which
This
means
card-
that it's so good with the. God.
Yeah. This card's flavor text says, "Do I scare you?" And the answer is yes.
As for lore, since we're gonna go fast, this character is Nyla. She is the Queen of Wolves.
Oh yeah.
And she's wearing an eye patch because that eye is cursed, and if she reveals it, she has a chance to turn somebody to stone.
Damn, that's hot. All right.
Pause. Dude, why? Nobody wears an eye patch because they lost their eye anymore. What happened to respectable eye patch wearers?
They all became Chunibyo.
Well, there's another one of those in this game that is an honorable eye patch wearer.
I was playing Nikkei, and the girl with the eye patch revealed her shit, and I was like, oh fuck, that's awesome. And then I was like, man, nobody just wears an eye patch because they lost an eye anymore. It's always like they got some secret bullshit hidden under there. Do you remember when Nick Fury did that shit in one of the Captain America movies? I was like, yo, that's dope. But I thought he just lost an eye. What the fuck?
Yeah, they explained it as like his cat got him, and he was like, "No, I'll never trust people again because of my cat."
Sure. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, technically speaking, that's not even an eye
alien.
patch. It's more of a veil, but yeah, whatever. Same difference.
It's the Kakashi.
Yeah.
I don't
Wears
know
the
if-
headband over eye.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
I know
Simple
we're trying to
as.
speed through these, but just a reminder that, like we said, Ranulph exists. This card is a reason to play Ranulph. Yeah.
We know why it's good.
I mean, I guess.
We've only seen 2 colors, and we know why it's good. It's fine.
Wolf Queen of Hitari, Nyla. Character facing this gets -1 soul. And on play, you Aerosmith one of your opponent's characters.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
No, it says X is equal to the number. There's no multiplier.
Yeah. What did we make this? Was it 500 or 1,000? Probably 500.
God, if it's only 500, this card is ass.
Like,
Alright, so then it's 1,000.
Even then, it's like there's that JoJo's card that's, in a set that's not good, but it does it to the whole board. You like minus
yeah, that's a level 3
power based on the level of the character. So it's like, yeah, it doesn't hit zeros, and this can hit like backstage, which is like cute or whatever. But this is level 3, people. Like, come on.
This card is not great, but the main reason you're playing it is if you're playing a Laguz deck, you can put the Laguz stone under something, and then change it into this as like an early play thing. And that's potentially okay. It's like OC.
It does activate when you summon it from any event. I didn't read that text.
But if you do it that way, we run into this other fascinating issue where the facing -1 soul effect isn't going to stay on because the Laguz stone switches back during your turn.
Also, that effect is like generally a downside because the like -1 soul gives you more opponents more precise things to like kill you with. The only card I've ever seen it be like half useful on is the Haruhi card that blocks your opponent playing climaxes the next turn. Because then what happens is like you can't make up the soul by playing a climax. You have to like deal with the fact that you're doing nothing if you're swinging with a 1 soul character in that lane. But like this doesn't. I don't know. Because they're gonna be summoned by the Lagoo Stone, I don't think it's like completely worthless, but it, you know,
It can snipe assists if nothing else.
it's like brainstorms, which is like
Yeah.
sick. But the thing about all of these snipe decks, whether you're talking about the Millum from Slime or that Assault Lily 8-bar deck, it's like it doesn't once your opponent knows that you play that, they're just gonna a smart player just doesn't field the brainstorm unless they actually need to brainstorm. And then if you kill it, it's like, oh well, you used resources and I got what I wanted anyway. So
Right.
Basically.
Anyway, next. Okay. When this card is placed on stage from the hand, you can choose one of your opponent's characters and it gets minus 500. When this card becomes reverse, Clock Bomb. This is Almeida. She is the other dragon guy from way back, older sister.
I remember
She's,
how I said like the royal family of this is like really fucked up.
you can see
She's
Ashnard in the
also
background.
yeah, she's also the wife of the King Ashnard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's the daughter of the Dragon King Deginsia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now remind me, does that mean her brother is Ashnard's pet dragon?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
basically, she
Go
has
ahead,
a
yeah.
kid with Ashnard. Ashnard figures out that that child has no dragon powers, so instead he holds that child hostage. Almeida asks for help because she doesn't have powers anymore, because that's what happens when a shapeshifter makes a child with a not shapeshifter. And then her older brother comes to try to save the child, and Ashnard's just like hee 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 ha and fucking drugs his ass. And then he is a mindless dragon mount for the rest of time until he dies.
But what happened to the child?
The child gets thrown out. Spoilers, that child is Soren.
We're going to talk about him a lot later because his lineage doesn't come up at all in the first game.
It comes up that he's a branded.
Right, but that's it. That's all that we
Yeah.
talk about.
Cool.
And in the second game, the person that she is saying is her son is a different guy who is also, I think, branded.
No. He has a thing called a pact with the spirits, which is what most mages have to be able to use magic. But
not
he
technically
gets
branded.
put in because he has that mark.
Yes.
It tricks her into making her think that it's her son.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that guy is a pretty cool guy, but he looks nothing like her, which is kind of sus. Although he does look a
Ashnard's
bit like
hair
Ashnard.
color. Yeah.
Yeah.
do you remember the bank combo and
Yeah.
how Gadget was like, "Hey, I'm gonna field this in the front row, right?" You know, if you give the bounce back ability, that doesn't proc if your opponent says, "Haha, minus 500, dickhead, get off my stage."
Yeah, but
Quadruple F minus for the bank combo card
Why wouldn't it proc?
because
Oh,
you
I guess
give
if
it
you
minus 500 power and it dies.
Yeah, okay, you're talking about the target, not the combo itself.
Well, I'm talking about the combo itself too, right? You know what I mean? Because like Gadget was like, I'm gonna put one of this on the front. I'm gonna put them all in the front row. I'm gonna give each of them the other ability of the bounce back, and they're all gonna bounce back to my hand. And I was like, A, how are you sculpting for 3 of those and the climax that early? B, I'm gonna play that card in Slime that just says on play, give your opponent's entire front row minus 500 on play or on attack. That card never sees play because that's its only ability, but like, yeah.
Also, this can snipe back rows if they are
Oh.
500 power brainstormers.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. This card's
It's like
getting
the
a
shell
B.
tier.
Is the
No. Shaltir is center stage. This is wrong. This is they don't print this.
Yeah.
I could have sworn there was a shell tier that gave minus 500 to anything.
The brainstorm is center stage.
Huh.
I know for a fact the brainstorm
that
is center stage because
motherfucker
they
cheated.
don't print that. They don't print stuff that can target back row like that.
Then that motherfucker cheated indeed. Yeah, so because it can target either place, it would be like a minus 2k effect, so yeah, no, this is off budget. If it says center stage, this hits at 500.
Wait, what's Clonic Bomb?
1500.
Oh,
Clock
okay.
bomb's 15 because there's a Kamome promo that is a vanilla clock bomb. And I have bought those for waifu decks. because I love Kamome.
Right.
You can also technically make this exclusively backstage if you wanted to.
No, don't do that. Don't print that.
No,
Don't give him ideas.
Because they're great budgeted. But yeah.
No, don't do that.
Why not?
Because you're a bad person if you do. I'm gonna give this the original grade, assuming it's supposed to be the corrected text.
If you need a bomb, this is a good bomb with a good secondary effect. But like, it's probably just here.
Yeah, just center stage then.
I appreciate you for being a reasonable human.
Bro, he
Well, I mean,
fucking didn't put a cost on Micaiah. All right, you're making a lot of assumptions here.
Well, no, reasonable is not like always makes the right decisions. Reasonable is, okay, I can talk
willing
to
to
him.
make it.
Yeah.
Willing to take feedback.
Yeah. Also, this was technically supposed to be based on that shell tier effect,
Just that.
which I initially thought was just anything, because somebody played it against me like that.
It'd be so good
yeah.
if it was anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, I remember this man.
It's
It's your card.
Nolan.
Yeah.
He's
Nolan.
5 or more plus
Yeah.
3K and a climax swap.
Yeah, this card's real good actually. This card's like a B plus. How is this a common? What the fuck?
Is that
That's
5
the
or more
climax swap.
condition 3 halves? Because, or I mean, I guess this is technically climax swap, not climax swap, which may change the price. But
yeah, climax swap goes crazy.
Climax swap. I mean, but yeah, for like a Baltimore meta, like climax swap goes pretty good.
Dude, we trade out the clams for the fucking oysters, and then that's how I swap them. And then you got different kinds, and you get like
You get clam maxed.
yeah, you get maximum clams.
Maximum clam.
All right. Anyway.
This is 500 too small, isn't it?
Maybe. Yeah.
Climax swap's 500 power.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. Okay, it's a. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
first effect is 1500, isn't it?
Yeah, I had to double check because I couldn't remember the multiplier on it, but it is indeed. So he gets to be a 4K climax swap.
Hot damn.
Jesus Christ.
So actually, you make him like a. God, what is it? It's a 1500 base and gets 2K. Then he's fixed.
Yes, please. Please do that. Don't make him a 4K, please. We like Bushi. Please.
So I mean that actually exists. Like a 35 climax swap exists already. It's in Chainsaw Man, who got 5 climax swappers for some reason.
I'm just saying this shouldn't be a 4K climax swap though, is what I'm saying.
I mean, condition
even then,
being
I don't
you
think it's
need
that bad.
5 or more cards in hand. That actually is relevant text.
Okay, but that's but you're playing.
It means you can't tri-lane.
Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it legitimately does matter. Like, it 100% is effective text. It doesn't put it at common, you're right. For it to be a common, it needs to be smaller.
For a common, it needs to be a goddamn vanilla.
God, this fucking reads so fucking big.
Who cares?
Honestly, though, it's on flavor. Nolan is like the best character in part 1. He's so good, actually.
Man loves his beard axe, man.
Simple man.
He's good. Like, axe wielders in general are just good. Nolan's a character that if you actually like, here's the other thing. Most of the characters you get in part 1 are like tutorial characters. Like, here's your basic swordsman, here's your basic archer, here's your basic healer, your basic knight, your basic wyvern, whatever, right? Nolan is like, he starts off as like your basic axe guy, right? But because of his growths and the fact that there's only one other standard axe user, like axe fighter in the game, like he's actually the best axe fighter in the game by like a little bit. He's one of the only characters in the game that gets Nihil inherently, which is important because you need Nihil to basically fight the final boss. So he actually has value that way. And like, you have to put experience into him. But the thing is, like I said, most of the characters in part 1 are basic ass bitches. They all fall off in the mid game. Nolan is like the one character that doesn't completely fall off in the mid game if you actually put time into him. So like, he's pretty fucking important, and it's flavorful because he's actually pretty big on this. So like, yeah, I'm down, but I don't know. It feels weird reading a card this good as a common, you know?
Welcome to Hololive. I mean, custom sets. I mean, Hololive.
I mean,
All right, moving on.
honestly, yeah, sure. I was gonna say he's just a common because fucking I forgot to put a climax swap in this set originally, and I was just like, fucking throw it in, give it a generic ass effect.
All right, Laura Dawn Brigade Cleric. Like I said, she's a basic bitch, unfortunately. On play, reveal top. If it's a character in an event, you can add to hand, then ditch one, and it has pay 2, rest self, heal. Honestly, you'd play this for the first effect alone, but like it's kind of whatever.
It's also, I think, wrong on budget. She said
Oh boy.
She said 500 power.
Eh.
Easy fix.
Hold on, I'm gonna fact check you again.
The Choco is 1500, 500. Because it gets events. If it didn't get events, it would be on budget.
Here we go. Nope, you're wrong. Pay 2. Wait, hold on. Actually, let me check this.
Yeah, dude, he's
Wait,
about to say no, you're wrong, and you're gonna leave it in and don't not edit it out because you're a savage.
No, hold on. Is on play surveil a 1K effect?
This gets events, brother.
So it is a 1K effect.
No, I think it's more.
No, he's asking if Surveil is. Surveil.
Oh, I don't know.
Surveil should only be 500.
So
Maybe.
the Lisbeth in 7 Deadly Sins, the promo, has pay 2, rest self, heal, and also has all your other traded characters get 500 power. That card is 1K power. So I think the pay 2, rest self is 1500 power. I'm asking if the surveil effect is 1K or if it's 500.
No. The heal is 1K. The top effect is 15.
Oh.
Because it can grab events.
Because you can grab events.
Because this isn't surveil, this is
Yeah.
this is like the hand filter thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, I believe you.
Yeah, right.
Like this card in Ari Feretta, this card is less good than that because the other one was a brainstorm. It is funny you can reuse this with the brainstorm though. That is
Yes.
quite humorous.
This was what I was referring to.
Yeah.
Although we haven't quite figured out the math, but the brainstorm's probably statted incorrectly.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Next up. Okay.
I read it and I was like, huh.
Okay.
I mean, it's Blank's card, not mine.
Oh, my bad. Beginning of your opponent's attack phase, if this card
Wait, what?
is facing a character, you may move this to an open position of your backstage and choose another one of your Telly's characters and give it gets 500 power until end of turn. Conditioned back row run that gives 500 power when you do the effect.
It gives more power because it costs more power.
I swear I copied this from a maple.
We created it. It never happened.
I don't think this is
Bad luck.
I don't think this is real
Oh,
either.
well. Which makes sense because it's so off budget. Like
It's also so weird.
Yeah, no, the conditionality, like this card would pay 1500 like a normal one of these. So it would sit 1500, like it at worst it sits 1500. At best it probably also gives like 1000 power instead of just 500. So
yeah, alright.
How true.
It's fine. Like you some world plays it, but it's got the same problem all these do, where you're paying one to plus a guy that does no other shit, so it's just pointless.
I mean, you could technically play it late game to protect one of your higher things, just as a lane.
You're gonna protect it by it. How often is that 1000 gonna matter, and how often is gonna be paying one worth 1000 power versus just like having a backup?
So just lore. This technically is a recruitable character, but you can only get him on your second playthrough.
Yeah.
With like a clear save. He is the kid that gets shoehorned in as Almeida's son. He is the pretend child who isn't actually the child. So he is just a fucking orphan. He is not a prince. But he gets pretended to be for the entire game, pretty much.
He also he kind of has Aladdin syndrome, where he like is like a street rat that got to be the prince. He also has an advisor that's kind of like Jafar, and we'll talk about him when we get to Red, but he's pretty slimy and pretty cool.
That character is also batshit insane.
Yeah.
Moving on.
This card's a vanilla drop search. Nobody has to waste their time with this. The one notable thing about this character is that she is a knight, so if you're playing the knights, cool. Here you go, as a generic drop search for your knight deck.
I think it actually like it has some advantages because of the color and the trait it has, but it loses some benefit because you have a search Ricky.
Yep.
Search Ricky's not a knight though.
I
But
don't
This
care.
was addressed already in the comments that were made. Anyway, next card.
Center runner.
Center runner can attack. It's a 3K body.
Wait, what the fuck? No, this is a chaser, not a center runner.
Yeah, whatever.
No,
Three?
no. The
Nope.
3K chasers are actually good though.
Yeah, I was about to say 3K chaser is a fucking common. Like this is going into popper real quick.
Yeah, wasn't this an uncommon in Goblin Slayer? Or was this like a rare in Goblin Slayer?
Goblin Slayer had a different condition instead of can't side attack, I think.
It also has your opponent can't side attacking. It gets +1 level and all
That's
that other
right.
bullshit.
Yeah, it's a very different card. Alright. That's good.
Alright.
I
Pretty
don't
basic.
know.
Okay.
It's,
Oh wait, I didn't
uh,
write the Edward. Wait a minute. I want to give him a B.
Edward.
I don't actually. Are there actually any field plussing like runners and shit? I don't
In the
know.
set?
I think this card's good. This is like a card that you would like if you're trying to play the Patrine. This is a card you can easily play 4 of and just level at level 1 and then have the Patrine at level 2 to stock swap them early play. Like you
Actually, that's
you don't
true.
feel bad playing this card at all. So
I haven't seen a 35 runner, if I recall correctly, yet. So
No,
I'll give
that
this
is
to be straight B for now. Although your climax swap's probably a better plus than this,
Yeah.
which is dumb because I'm just gonna play 4 of that guy.
This is weird. This is
the
a
Goblin
weird
Slayer
card.
Chaser is an uncommon. That is so crazy.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. This is Laura's friend, Aran. If you have a healer character, it gets 1500 power and +1 level. I feel like at this level, that +1 level is kind of a detriment. Also, the budgeting is not quite right. It would need to be +1,000 and a level.
Is a level really worth?
No, wait. No, it'd actually be more. Holy shit.
Yeah,
this would
maybe
actually
you
be...
helped me budget this.
Yeah.
yep, that sounds about
It's
right.
a level worth. A level's worth 500 power, right? So it's
So
just.
this would be 2,500 because it's a 45. I feel like something got lost in translation when we did this.
Possibly.
Yeah, it gets to be like a 7K level too.
Alright, fantastic. So 2-5 instead of 1-5?
Yeah.
This
Super.
is even if it's a 7K, I think this card sucks.
Yeah, probably.
No, wait. No, fuck.
I never bothered to use it in testing, so.
It doesn't even have a soul trigger.
Nope.
F.
No. No, it's 1K and the level. It's because it's one character.
This is
so
why
it's
we need to not
1.5.
record these at fucking midnight because people's brains stop working. Just look at the spreadsheet and do what the spreadsheet says.
You're
Yeah.
a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Alright,
Your
anyway.
mom's spreadsheet.
Aaron's a pretty
Wait,
basic
wait.
character, so not really much to say on him. He is Laura's friend, that's about it.
Yeah, it's actually unfortunate because like he's not completely useless, but of the halberdiers in the game, he's absolutely the worst.
He's got the highest defense, that's about it.
Cool. Halberdiers are supposed to freaking do damage and be defensive. You can't do one or the other.
Horror.
Anyway, this card is mildly interesting. We've only got 3 more left, so we're almost done.
Oh lord, I gotta pull up Uma Musume movie after reading that first effect.
Alright, yeah, so you can... This is horror. This is my favorite character. At the beginning of your Encore phase, if this card is standing, you can rest it. If you do, reveal top and then burn opponent for X, where X is the number of souls on the revealed card +1, and then you put the revealed card into your stock. So it's like a... There's a card that does this in...
Dragon Maid.
Yeah, Dragon Maid. So like you don't attack with this. You effectively rest it to burn your opponent. You still get the stock, and you this is a 1 soul card, so the +1 doesn't actually matter. It's effectively an attack that your opponent can't interact with in that sense. And then its other ability is if damage dealt by this card is canceled, it gets 6 cancel end of opponent's next turn. So it's like if his damage gets canceled for any reason, you just get to sit at 11k cross turn. Otherwise, he is small. I don't actually know what the flavor is on this because this does not read like a horror card, but like the card isn't terrible.
Horror's inherent ability is called cancel.
Oh, that's right. He has cancel. I
It
forgot
just
about
keeps your
that.
opponent from attacking back. Which kinda.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I forgot about that. Good,
Okay,
good.
so
You know what? That's gonna give it a plus for me.
Just for flavor.
C for cancel.
C for cancel.
A for
Blank left?
absolutely broken in its current text anyway.
Eh?
Do you
Why is that?
because this activates from back row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It does activate from back row. It also, the normal use of the card, the Lukoa says at the beginning of your main phase, this gets the effect. This doesn't, so if it was spawned by something standing,
I feel like the reason the Lukua has that beginning of main phase is because the Lukua is a 0, and if you put 3 of those on board turn 1, you can just technically attack 3 times on your first turn.
I mean, like, yes, but also, so it's weird, right? Because this effect has been used by my friend, because the Lukoa effect he put on a higher level character, and then I think he also got rid of the beginning of main phase get this, but it's also like this just activates, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Also, this definitely needs to say center stage, or else
Yeah.
this is like very,
That
very
is
not
the
okay.
intended. So
Okay.
there you go.
Wait, this is budget as a... Holy shit, wait. This isn't even like a... Never mind. God. Yeah, we need to stop doing these so late at night. My brain is frying.
Because there's a new card in Uma 2 where it's that I thought this was affected based off this, but it's not. It's based on that Lukoa. But that card's like you clean accelerate and you rest this, and if you specifically have the 3/2 finisher on board, you get to deal 1. So you could make it something like that if you wanted this to activate from back row, but as this card stands, it's like if you wanted this to just be the Lukoa, I don't think I would play this because
Yeah.
I've always thought that card was ass.
Mm-hmm. I originally played the Lukua because I didn't notice at the beginning of main phase it gets that effect. After I figured that out, I fucking got rid of that because it didn't really help.
Yeah, what difference does it make? How are you getting a standard character not in main phase in that deck?
Well, like he said, if you are going first and you have multiple of it, you get multiple stock going first and do multiple damage going first.
Alright, we know what this one does because it is literally the spy event.
It's a little different, but basically. This can summon any Makaya or any Yune, but there's only one Yune, so...
Oh, so the card heals off of this getting summoned from waiting room.
Yeah.
I see. The Yune was the pitch to Icy Tail thing.
Yep.
Okay. That makes sense, I guess.
You need it for the early play. Cool.
B for Banya.
Bikanya. It's the same scene in both cards. It's just that this art in the event is from the actual game versus this is the cipher art.
Did the guy die in this scene? I forget. And she's brought him back to life.
No. Basically, a crowd of people blocks the people that are chasing Micaiah and her friends, and then the heartless asshole in charge of them is just fucking shoot arrows at them until they move. And they do that, and it hits a kid, and Micaiah has her future sight, runs back, heals the kid, and then she uses her powers to do that, so she passes out, and then Soth just fucking picks her up and runs. And then the crowd gets right back in front of them.
Wow.
Alright, last card.
Thank you for the wins.
You missed.
Miss!
Does the card in Da Capo have that second effect as well?
What?
Which one?
So
The pay one
let's
character can't be reversed?
Yeah, so we should probably go ahead and just read this whole thing. So this is choose a character in battle. The character cannot deal damage. When you use this card's backup effect, pay 1, choose one of your characters. That character cannot become reversed until the end of this turn.
I don't think these are considered backup effects. Like, we get what he's trying to say, but this technically doesn't have an assist effect on it because assist and like is like character backups only and shit.
Yeah, it has a counter.
Also, they would not print this anymore in the modern game. Like, all the anti-damages are straight anti-damage,
And full condition.
and like you need full board, and then because they need full board, they give like power.
Yeah.
They'll give like 1500, or the JoJo's one, which is a 3/3, gives 3k. But it's like, it being a level 3 is actually like not bad for that set because that set needs experience. But
True.
like,
I know.
yeah, it being a 5 or more stand and stand user condition is like, wow, you really just don't want anti-damage to exist anymore.
Side note, since we're talking about the JoJo event, I actually think that there is a deck that can play this event with the Abakio combo. Like, obviously that combo is dog shit, but it doesn't actually pay stock to play it. So you could do the Abakio thing and then use this card to not take damage on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, but then they'll bounce
and then
you,
you'd
and
have-
then you can't do anything.
Sure, but like, if they don't do that, then you're golden.
Yeah, if
And
they
you're
don't
golden
do a
win.
thing that's getting played in every deck ever because Shauna exists.
Well, yeah, they don't
Yeah.
have a reason to like do it because they have to see it earlier in the game. And there are points your opponent's just not gonna look at and see it and care. We're
Let's
card
say
game
it's-
players,
it's-
remember?
Well, yeah, but if we're in an actual environment, also I know what JoJo's does, so I know that event exists. It's not working versus me, I'll tell you that.
I mean, would you really play around that? Would you
So,
really
the-
go that far?
If I saw it my opponent's clock, I would for sure.
God.
I mean, okay, so consider the fact that I have a SP version of that anti-damage, and I still don't play it. If he's got the cojones to like play it, I'll commend
Play
him, and then I'll bounce his character and say, "You tried."
Fair enough. All right. So obviously this card's like an S, right? Because it's just everything better about it.
I mean, so think about it. If we play this in the hex-proof like Black Knight deck, this card is fucking awesome.
Also, if you
Um,
play this in the Ranolf deck, this card is awesome.
Because you just have the stuff.
Because the Ranolf funds you all the stock you need to play this.
And the
And then-
fee is a Fumio. Or not Fumio, what the Fuka Zero? Yeah, Fuka Zero.
Oh yeah, your Fuka Zero is also crack, and you gotta play like 4 of it because it's a clean cut. Also,
Right.
hmm
So like you
I
play
mean-
you play Ranolf, you get the marker, you play the Lagusto, and you get to marker your Lethe, and then you get another marker from his skill. So you get the 4 stock to pay for this.
you're already playing green because you're playing a stock swap like a good player.
Like there's just like it's not like these cards are broken or anything. It's all upside. Like it just reads so strong because all of these cards incidentally work well with each other.
And the Ike is apparently costless because, of course, it is.
Oh fuck, you're right. Wait, hold on.
It's just
So
like,
yeah,
it's like what are we doing?
if you happen to triple Ike, you can generate 3 stock off your Ikes. This combo is completely costless, so you can just play the event at level 3 and not take damage in one lane.
Yep. Provided your opponent isn't dead by that point, which they should be.
This is like these are good because they don't have the full field condition on them.
I mean, what level is the Little Busters one? It
I
also
mean,
2.
I don't know about their anti-damage because they always played tap counter. The Sao one is a 2/3 and has this, but that's like the last one they ever printed without a full field condition. And it definitely doesn't have this second line of text on it. I mean, I don't know how much the anti-reverse thing even like matters, but the fact it can mess up like some finishers, anything that needs like fever or whatever, like this stops Dio on top of already stopping one of Dio's attacks.
Why does it stop? Oh, because it denies the reverse. That's right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anything that needs a reverse, this like fucks up pretty bad. Because not only do they not get the attack damage, they don't get the reverse effect if you pay the extra one. Which, I mean, you're already playing a deck that needs a reverse for a finisher. So it's like you're already kind of suffering, and then your opponent's like, this actually messes up Jolene arguably even worse than Dio, because Dio has a bunch of answers. Jolene is like end of attack, pay 1, ditch 2, burn 4. But because it's at end of attack, which is after counter step, obviously, her attack damage doesn't go through. The burn 4 doesn't go through. And she doesn't get even if she got the reverse, her burn 1 doesn't go through.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna say. If you want to pay the extra stock on this to bounce a character back, she wouldn't get the other burn 1, but she wouldn't get it anyway because it's money counter. Hold on, it's actually worse than that because you can, so you can drop the money counter in one Jolene lane and then choose the other Jolene lane to get the not reverse. So that second lane doesn't get the ping 1.
That's
okay.
Pretty
fucking good.
That's yeah. This is like they wouldn't print it anymore, like ever.
They might put it.
Apparently.
They would probably put it at like a higher cost if they're ever going to print it.
So like they've printed good defensive counters, but it's always like deck specific ones. The one I'm thinking about is like the Albedo from Overlord. They printed a Neg Soul that has like 2 different effects, and if you play it at level 2, it costs less.
Yep.
If you have the 3/2 Albedo on board, and at level 3, it costs the regular Neg Soul costs, but you still need the Albedo on board. But the Albedo is also like anti-burn and all that other bullshit. So
there's also that Judy counter from Avatar, where if you're playing that specific army deck, you get to like pay 5 to bounce a character.
Oh yeah. There is
that
the war
requires playing
bossing
a completely shit deck.
Yeah.
At least Albedo was like relevant at a point.
Yeah, Albedo was fun.
Funny enough, this actually used to be Neg Soul and then the non-reverse effect after the fact.
I could see them printing that actually.
Yeah.
You'd probably need a specific character on board to do it, but I could actually see them printing that.
The point is, this is a miss. Like the flavor is that this could happen to any character. So you like.
Look, I'm telling you. I'm just telling you what it is. They would not print this.
You would just increase the price. We're good. All right.
Or you would make it so you'd have to hit a coin flip, so it's actually more flavorful. But then it would be bad. So LOL.
I mean,
you make it the Tokyo Revengers event where it's money counter into potentially burning your opponent. Okay, sure, I'm down to 3/4.
Maybe not that,
but
like money counter into coin flip of you not getting your character to reverse or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know either. Well. All right, we've said a lot of words about these cards. Until next time, when we say more words about more cards.